and it is a go. What's going on? Is Alan Brown, aka Bully the Kid. I am joined by my friend and new friend, Low and Lobster, and Johnny Dibble. I don't have your information, Johnny, but I will be putting it in the description and at the end of the video.
Sounds good.
Um, how y'all doing today?
So good. So good. It's currently, hang on, for you guys across the pond, it's like 7:30. For me, it's midnight on Monday morning. So
I am.
feeling great.
I'm sorry. These are things that you're dealing with.
I'm a
Uh,
total night owl, so it's all right.
all right, cool.
How are you guys?
Uh,
I'm doing great.
yeah, I'm doing good.
Can't complain with the bass in your lap.
You know, we all strapped with our own acts of choice. I have a cheap, quote unquote, Donner P bass. It's actually growing to be one of my more favorite P basses that I have. That's passive, low key. So I've been messing around with it more often. Just kind of, it feels good, and I don't have to think about where I am on the neck. The neck feels like a jazz type neck. This might be one that I actually send to you, Lobster. So just to check it out, it's cheap. But yeah, I'm doing good, man. What bass you playing, Lobster?
I am rocking my brand new Stingray Classic. Just got this like last week, and it might be my new favorite. It's so good.
Your new favorite Stingray of all
Yeah,
of them?
I'm just gonna wake up one day and just look exactly like Donnie Benet. Just the whole bald look, nice stash and everything. Beard will be gone. Gain about 60 pounds. It'll be great.
That
True
sounds
manhood.
horrible. That sounds horrible. What are you doing? Okay, this is a
What
public
happens when
service
you get too many
announcement.
stingrays?
This is a public service announcement for everybody that still has a 2 or a 1 in front of their weight. There's nothing on the other side of that fence. The grass is not green over here. In fact, I ate the grass. You should probably stay over there because it's all downhill once you cross like 230. You're gonna fart once and then be at 275, and then you're gonna be on TV. My 500-pound life. I'm telling you, it's a fight. It's a
You're
fight.
making that greener grass sound just so good.
No, I mean it does
Is it
taste good.
medicinal?
However, uh, this is not that type of channel.
Demonetized.
This is not that type of channel. Yeah. So, yeah, if you can be skinny and you can like see your neck, stay that way because you don't know what it's like to like not be able to look at your chest. You know what I'm saying?
I just see beard.
It just folds up.
I really don't like you.
Is this a problem?
Anyway, whatever, dude. Johnny, what you playing right now?
So much like Lobster, I have got my faithful Stingray with me right here. Just because I'm running DI right now, and this thing just sounds just so good in the DI. This is the Sterling, to not the full fat music man. I'm sorry. This is the Sterling Ray 24 CA, which has recently become my number one after just picking it up on a whim. So yeah, I love it.
Okay. Do you order from a specific company over there, or you just happen to be in a music store and you just picked it up?
Well, I go from a number of stores really. I mainly shop on the second-hand market though, just because I am a cheapskate and I love a good deal. And you know, you can get so much good stuff, even in like the 350 quid, range for in the UK is so good. There's so much good stuff, even new, so much good quality stuff.
Okay.
And so
So-
that's what I paid for this one here. So
350 quid. Okay, what's the difference between a quid and a pound?
about
Their
10
money's worth more.
pound is about 10 quid.
Wait,
That's
say it
the
again.
They're exactly the same.
I hate you. Don't do that. I don't know nothing about across the pond. Why'd you do that? And why is it
This
280?
is the learning curve for everyone. I'm going
Why
to
is
learn
it-
how to play bass. You're going to learn how to come over to the UK.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, I want to say silly little wanker. I don't know why. It's just
That was my nickname in high school.
all right.
So you're already
so-
rubbing off on me. I just said high school. We didn't say that at all.
hold on. University?
We got university. So you start off in primary school, then you go to
Okay.
secondary. Well, or you might be in like nursery or what would be your like kindergarten.
Okay.
Then you go to primary school, then to secondary school, and then
Okay.
to college.
So
When
so
you're like,
wait, what's the grouping of primary school that goes from 1 to what?
so that age. Oh gosh, you're testing me now. Your age is up to about. I think you got to about 12 years old, and then from like 12 to 16, you're in secondary school, and then you're in 16 to 18, 2 years, you're in college, and then you're in university. So what you call college is our university, and we just call it uni.
Okay.
Yeah, and then their college is our second half of high school.
That's right. Yeah. So it's like the years kind of blend across each other in the American and UK comparison, but ours is it's if you're like 16 to 18, you're in college. So that's your further education. So I actually work in a college. So you're at college.
Oh. Interesting. You learn
So I can
something
say, oh
new.
yes, I work in a college, and people, American people might think, wow, that's
Wow,
pretty cool.
he's pretty young to be a professor. That's pretty
So,
crazy.
Dr. Johnny Dibble to you, sir.
Lieutenant, actually.
All right. So we got some people that actually dropped in. Beard of
What's up?
Doom, what's going on?
Beard of Doom, Kevin, my man.
Yeah.
Mr.
Steven,
Becker.
how you doing? Beard talking trash. Welcome to the family, JD. Dig it. Hey,
Thank
Steven. Here we go. Here we go. Proper.
It's
What's
his
going
brand.
on,
You
man?
can't get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Beard is life. Okay.
This is the way.
I'm assuming he's talking about the bass thing. I agree with Johnny about the
Yeah.
secondhand basses and stuff like that. I'm assuming. Yeah, there we go. There's so much good stuff at $300. I like this guy. Cool. Well, you're accepted by the family, evidently. I brought you on the channel, so welcome
Me.
to the Bullyverse.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. What's going on, Camille? Hey.
Thank you for attending this glorious event on the day of my cat's wedding.
Okay, let's just get him. Let's just get him out of here.
And we're done.
Hey, now over here.
Now I got my homies either side.
Here's the story of a few bass guys who were something and I went online.
Oh my god.
Ploperator, is this live? No, this is actually pre-recorded due to the time difference. So Johnny's actually responding to this pre-recorded conversation between me and Bully.
Yep.
And just reacting as if he's here, and we're giving him ample space.
Yeah. It's actually edited. It's really crazy. Don't worry about the pixelation. That's just the you lose
Yeah, it is. There's a bit of a delay in what we're saying, and so I'm actually recording over what they're saying.
Yeah, man. So you lose some of your clarity whenever you go
Yeah, and it is a
across.
bit pixelated, so yeah, sometimes there is a bit of a delay.
Yeah.
So I'm just messing around.
What's going on? Porcupine? What's going on?
Pork pie.
Pork pie. Interesting.
Always blame
I was
lobster.
wondering. What's going on, Andrew? Oh man, I'm a drummer, but I can't stop buying basses.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's a drug. I don't know.
Now you're
man.
a former drummer. Just say it. Former drummer.
You're a musician, really.
Yes.
You're
Multi-instrumentalist.
Well-rounded.
a rhythm section specialist.
Now you're a low-end connoisseur.
Ah, I do enjoy a thick thump. Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's see. That's what I'm talking about. How's the Harley Benton working out? I'm assuming this is directed to me.
Mine are coming tomorrow.
Ooh.
Ooh, tell more.
So I got the single humbucker Stingray thing. It was $120. And what was the other one I got? I got the 5-string Music Man P bass, the enhanced or whatever.
I had the jazz bass version, the 4-string.
What'd you think about it?
I thought it was pretty cool. It was. I actually way preferred the passive tone. I'm a rock and metal guy mainly, so I'm mainly playing with a pick, and that for me, that tone it blew me out of the water. But then I found it, if I was just going to use that passive sound, the bass was quite heavy and it had all this electronics on it that I was kind of like, I don't know, it kind of felt wasted on me. All those different tones. So I did sell it on in the end, but no, it's such a good bass for that. When you look at the features, because obviously it's copying a Sandberg California, and all those features where you get the 0 fret and it's just such good value for money. It's insane.
Yeah.
How was the construction? Like the because I'm thinking about like modding the 5-string. That would be a good mod platform.
Yeah, I absolutely think it will be a modern platform. I didn't have any issues. One thing I would say on mine, I think the frets, the fret edges weren't as good as the PB50, which I think, Bully, you've got that red one, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the early Sunburst one. I thought the fret job on that was better than the enhanced one.
I'm gonna keep it I'm gonna tell the truth. I was gonna say some slang term. I don't know if it'd be wasted. I'm gonna keep it 1,000, 100 with you. So I was not expecting this bass to be so good. So I took it out of the box, and you know me, if I unbox it, it's directly getting plugged in. And most of the time, I don't even really care if it's in tune. How does it feel first? Then we can deal with how it sounds. I can swap out all the pickups, all the electronics, all that foolishness later. But how does it feel? Whenever I actually put this thing on my lap, well, you seen the video, man. Now, I actually thought about going to get the bass that Lobster just talked about. And he was kind of a deterrent. So I'm kind of torn between getting the enhanced one. And
you're just like, oh, Lobster liked it, so therefore I'm not gonna get it.
no, well, here's the thing though. I don't want to get a bass like he's in the Bullyverse. So I don't want to get a
We don't
bass
send
that he
stuff to each
has.
other and like
So
we don't want doubles.
not gonna double dip. Show can't do that. So if he got that one, my idea was to get like they have a kind of an exotic wood base. It's like a 5,000 NT something like that, but it's a beautiful base, and I probably should do a share screen so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, let me go do that.
Yeah,
But
bring it up.
what I wanted was, hold on, home music.
Whilst you're looking, what's the shipping like for Toman for you guys in America?
The highest one that I had, and I had an order of like 480, about 100 was shipping because I had like 2 bases in one shipment. So I'm just assuming that was the reason.
Let me see what mine is. Shipping was €85.
Dang
So,
it, that's like half the price of the base.
Yeah.
Oh, for some of the bases.
well, I
Again,
got I got
always
2
about.
bases, and then I got the Ibanez RGB 300. It's like the metally looking one that's almost like a reissue of those like 80s RGs. Basically, it looks like,
wow.
the RG guitar, the beginnery Ibanez that was my first guitar and my last guitar. No, not true. I have 2 guitars. Just kidding.
Full of shit.
I have to grab a different bass. This is
dude-
important.
This dude here,
Important.
this guy.
Can
All right,
see how
so
this real grinds on your gears.
what? Let me do this and share, and then I'll go here. This is it.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Reminds me of like a PV type thing. That horn.
Kinda, except it has like it's more contoured lines, and like I don't know if the audio clip is gonna come in. I don't know if it's gonna. Can you hear that?
Nope.
Although
Man.
I think I know the bass lines that they play for those.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I was looking at. So I'm not really sure which one to go with, because I was looking at the enhance. I think it's the Lake Placid blue. Of course, I love blue, so that was gonna be my jam.
Blue
And
is like my thing at the minute. I love blue guitars now.
yeah,
Blue
so
stinks.
Lobster was talking about getting. I was like, I don't want cream. But
I ended up with the natural one because the blue was back ordered for like months.
Oh, okay.
Damn it.
Crap. I might end up getting it anyway. We'll see.
Yeah, I had the cream one, and yeah, I do wish they did more colors, because I was like, oh. And I got that one secondhand, of course, so I couldn't choose my color. But yeah, it's the finish was fine in person, but it's not the best looking color, I don't think. And like Fender's Player Series, like those I can't remember what the name of the color is now. They're like yellowish, creamy ones. Just
like the
don't really know.
off-white vintage type thing, like it's been in the sunlight and stuff, and it just
I
kind of
don't mind if it's slightly off-white, but if it's going more towards yellow, I'm like, ooh, it's not so good.
Don't you have a yellow base in your lap?
Shh.
Butterscotch.
But big difference.
Butterscotch.
Big difference.
Oh, piss off. It's yellow.
Listen, cream comes in a little carton. Butterscotch is dispensed by old people.
And that's
Once you reach 65, you get an unlimited supply of butterscotch. Comes with the manual.
All right.
Get your retirement fund and your butterscotch.
All right, so check it out. We have somebody else just dropped in the party. Welcome, Chris.
Volpini.
How's it going?
What's
Doing
going
good,
on,
man.
man?
What's happening?
Still kicking.
All right. Yo, man, I enjoyed your the video you posted. You playing under the canopy.
Oh man. See, I'm surprised by that, because I walked away from that show being like, that was sloppy. And then all these people have been sharing it and
that means
messaging me about it. Yeah, your audience is the only opinion that matters. So
yeah.
The amount of times I've come off a stage and been like, oh God, guys, that was the worst show we've ever played. We're never doing that again. And everyone's been like, that was great. Like,
yeah.
great.
Too critical.
Yeah. So what I found out is all the stuff that we as bass nerds, as musicians, like key on, like, man, I really messed up on the second verse right here. Normal people don't hear that at all. And the reason why I can say that, not only because it's true, is because they have people in the world who think they can sing and couldn't hold a note if they were carrying buckets.
Dude.
I used to, dude, you'd be surprised. I used to work as a bouncer at a karaoke spot, in college. And my God, you have
with earplugs. The game,
dude, man. Look, so you have cigarette smoke, pool tables, like 6 pool tables, a stage that is large, and PA system that's like 8 15s, and it's just
bleeding.
I'm gonna tell you what. There are like 3 songs in my mind. You know how you go into a music store and you're like guaranteed to hear Smoke on the Water or something?
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 songs at a karaoke spot. If I hear them, I'm gonna get pissed. So
you're definitely gonna hear them.
Anything by the Spice Girls, no offense. I listen. Hey, Scary Spice is cute. I can watch it on mute. I can listen to them on mute. So, anything by Britney Spears is a train wreck waiting to happen. And most of the time, anything that has, well, I can't say that. Yeah, I will. Anytime there's a person singing a song other than their race, it's gonna be bad.
So you've got that PTSD, you know, well in there then.
I just can't, man.
I've got a similar thing with I don't even know the name of the song. It's the when the rhythm starts to play, that song. So that does the same thing for me. I cannot listen to it because when I was younger, I used to do swimming lessons, and that's what the old ladies used to dance to in their aqua aerobics class. And so whenever I hear that song, I just think of all these like wrinkly old ladies. I'm like even more wrinklier because they've been in the water.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah.
God.
Off on a tangent from bass stuff completely. You're talking about wrinkly old
Oh
ladies.
yeah, that was yeah. I don't know.
Well,
You know
see
what,
you later,
Johnny?
guys.
I'm even more interested now.
Oh no, Chris, this is not what we do here.
We're filling a really slim niche here in YouTube.
What did they do with the bathwater after?
No. How do I eBay?
Demonetized again.
God, no.
That one got me. That one got me.
All
I'm
right,
ready.
so this was the last one. This is the last question that got posed. So long story short, Harley Benton, both of them are going well. Debating whether or not I should get the one that I just showed, the BZ 5000 or the 6000. Thought about getting the 6000 as well, but it's the company's a lot better than I thought it would be, and for the price, it's one of the better ones out there. So yeah, I ended up getting that 50s style bass for like $117, and that's ridiculous. So
Yeah. Especially since the equivalent Squire, though I know the Squires have the neck finish, at least the classic vibes, but those are what, $400.
See, with my classic vibe P bass, I've sanded off the finish on the back.
Interesting.
I'm not a gloss person. Hence why this Stingray is lovely because it's more kind of a satin kind of style neck. But yeah, I prefer the faster style necks, and that interesting that Squire classic vibe it's more like cross between a jazz and a classic like 50s P bass neck. So it's not this massive fat neck, which doesn't tickle my pickle. So I like the Squire bass.
Speaking of Sterling's,
no. Oh, I thought you were about to say
not pickles, not
Oh,
pickles.
God,
I hate pickles.
Oh God. I didn't know where this was going.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. This is my Sterling SUB. So this isn't an ordinary SUB. I actually have a video on this. I think I'm going to drop it tomorrow or Tuesday. It is rocking Seymour Duncan El Nico pickup.
Ooh.
And the Seymour Duncan 3-band drop-in preamp.
Oh, hello.
All right.
So total price, the pickup was $100. The preamp was $140. So you're almost like the base itself, brand new. These are $300, but I got a deal because I bought like 3 of them because I'm swapping out the other electronics for like Nordstrand and Aguilar, and I'm gonna do a little comparison. But
Full penny.
you're buying-
Did you just hear him say this? Yeah, I got a deal because I bought 3 of them.
The humble brag. The humble brag.
the humble brag, but out the door like $300 plus $240 for the electronics. That's almost neck and neck with a brand new Ray 24 CA, and the Ray 24 has the upgraded pickup as well from Sterling and the newer preamp versus the SUB, which I mean I like the build, but the pickup on that is way too hot, too hot.
Yeah, the electronics are something. It leaves something to be desired. Which is why I got the Harley Benton.
What have we got there?
Everybody's
What do you got there, Chris?
Really?
Your Ray.
Oh, that's what I'm going to compare, or point it the other way. That's what I'm going to compare it to.
Is that the
when it gets
24
here.
TA, Chris?
Yes, I'm actually sending it Lobster's way.
Snap.
It was going to be a build. I was going to put a status graphite neck on it. Yes, much like the one you're holding. And I'm abandoning that because I'm just gonna, in a few months, I'm just gonna buy an American Ray because I'm doing another build with a status graphite neck right now, and it involves that. Is that?
Ooh.
And that.
Oh.
Okay.
It's kind of my take on the Conklin Rocco Prestia bass, which if you haven't seen that,
Bring Rocco out here.
yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So is he going 3 pickups? What's happening?
No. It if you order it directly from Aguilar, you can just get the one. But it's going to be a take on this.
Hello, old friend.
Ooh.
All right.
So it's instead of a J in the back, I'm doing the soap bar.
Okay, you going? Is it coil tappable?
No, I'm not going to do that. You can do that with these pickups, but I'm not doing it.
I bet if you did do it, you'd be like, you'd never use the coil tap. You'd just be like,
that's
just
what
sounds
I'm
better.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Because I really like this bass, but because of its significance, I don't want to gig it.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make something similar that I could take on a show, and if it got stolen, it'd be like, whatever. That's kind of my thought process.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Protect your investment.
Yeah. I mean, this one is like, I unfortunately never got to get it 100% confirmed because of Rocco's passing, but this was Lobster's at one point, and a lot of signs point to this being actually one of Rocco Prestia's basses that he played. Bill Conklin seems to think so, and there's I actually messaged Rocco's manager, and she said that she saw a picture of it. She said it looks like one of the ones that he had.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It's not one that it would have been like a tertiary backup, pretty much. So it's not like one that, he used a lot or anything, but it's still something that he had, and one of my favorite bass players. So it's special to me, and I'm thankful to Lobster for letting me get it from him.
Of course, man.
And Lobster actually, I tried to talk him out of it when he, and then eventually he just said, "I'm sending it to you."
Take it.
Yeah.
That sounds like him.
So I was like, it's not a good time for all that. And he said, "Well, take it and pay me when it is a good time." So yeah, I'm glad I had it. I'm glad I got it because I actually really like it. And I will say the Conklin one is so much better than the ESP Rocco Prestia bass.
Yeah. I had one briefly. I didn't even do a video on it because I'm just like, meh.
Well, yeah, and I've had a few of them. And that's how I felt about all of them. It's like, it's not. I don't hate it, but like this one, it actually sounds good. Like the other ones, you kind of had to mess with. I really think it was that Aguilar preamp, but I don't know. But that's certainly what it seemed like. It had a boost only preamp, and I've never really played a bass with a boost only preamp that I liked a lot. I like being able to cut.
I find with a lot of preamps, when you're boosting it's too much. You're like, why would anybody want this much bass? It's just too boomy, I find.
Yeah, and my whole approach to EQ is cut first. If I want more low end, the first thing I do is cut high end a little bit. So when you take that option away, I'm like, I don't like it.
Well, yeah, because as soon as you're boosting that low end, you're also risking boosting the amount of mud that's in your tone.
Yes,
as well.
that's the whole thing. That is the whole thing.
the one preamp that I've encountered thus far that doesn't suffer from that, and it was in the GB4, the ESP GB4, and also in this is this the Seymour Duncan STC 3M3. Like, here's the boost, here's the preamp all the way down, just like. Here's the bass all the way up.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Ooh.
It's a nice preamp. I loved it so
Yeah.
much in that ESP that I'm like, it's a Stingray preamp.
All right.
I have a Stingray.
All right.
That,
Go in Stingray.
So I need you real quick before we veer off. I need you to give me the Baskin Robin. Go for it. Super scoop, all 31 flavors.
Yeah. Okay. So we got preamps at 50% and boop, slap mode, just like on the ESP.
Man,
It's
nothing,
crazy. Like
nothing quite has the top end like a Music Man, does it? Or like a Stingray.
I always said that I'm not a Seymour Duncan guy, but that GB4 and hearing that, yeah, maybe I am, and I just didn't find the right Seymour Duncan.
Yeah, man. I'm in the same boat. I was always like, oh, Seymour Duncan. So I'm gonna go with something else, and then.
Yeah, I never liked him because I thought it was just everything was so hot, and that's not the kind of that's not me. And I was honestly always more on the Bartolini end of the spectrum, just that kind of subdued, just more subtle stuff. But the last few Seymour Duncan things I played have been real winners. So maybe I am a Seymour Duncan guy. Taste change over time, I guess.
So
I used to be a Stingray guy.
So
now I have a problem.
So everybody on here, with the exception of me, is pretty much rock / metal type person.
No, not at all.
I'm funk, jazz, rock.
Yeah.
I do rock and classic rock, but I also I funk.
I mean, I will do. I'm in the one act I'm in is kind of like it's called Royce Band, and it's kind of a hard rock meets rap thing. But that's not. I mean, I'm like straight up funk, soul, Motown kind of guy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'll do whatever. I that's kind of my problem is I never say no. I'll play in whatever. But if I'm forming a band, that's kind of the spectrum it's going to be on. The thing from Market Square underneath the tent, that's like a pure like pop thing. It's kind of different with the drummer there. They for some reason it's outdoors and everything, but for some reason it's in the heart of downtown Pittsburgh. It's in a place called Market Square. And for some reason, they're concerned about noise down there. And it's like, we could never compete with the amount of inherent noise in downtown Pittsburgh, but they will not book us with a drummer. They won't book any band with a drummer. So we do that as a duo, which is what you saw in that video.
So what? That it's basically acoustic stuff?
No, it's a straight up pop group. It's just for that particular gig, we have to adapt because they will not book a full band down there. And it's the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust, and they pay very well. So I'm not going to say no. You go down there for 2 hours and you get $300 or whatever, and it's just too easy to do it. So it's an opportunity to take video for social media fodder. So we're always going to take video, but it's not really representative of the group. It's just how we adapt to that particular opportunity.
What are the crowds like down there?
It's awesome. Especially considering, the situation we're in right now. It's really easy to distance and stuff. And it was really cool last time. That night we did that video, they actually had the protests coming through, and we got to see that up close. And we stopped playing for them and everything, and it was, I don't know, you felt it was kind of special in a lot of ways. It was cool.
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Given the situation at the minute, have you guys done much gigging at the minute?
I have recently.
Yeah, I had a gig last night.
He's fresh off, still
Yeah,
hyped.
so I have a recurring thing I do at the church I play at. So that's every Sunday, most Wednesdays. And then last night was kind of a outside the church type of gig. So it was basically, it's kind of like an open mic jam session type thing. They have, sometimes you have cats come up and do poetry. Some people come up and we have break dancers that show up and we just throw music to whatever they're doing, that type of thing. But the artistry last night was pretty much, we had like 2 people that actually kind of came up in the scene of what the event was, and then the rest of it was just like we laid a groove down, and then whoever was in the crowd that actually MCs, they all hopped up there, and it was kind of just a cipher, which is the name of the thing, Cipher 120. So it was fun. It was cold as hell, but it was fun.
Sounds
Well,
awesome.
a relative cold, not a Lobster and Chris Volpini type of cold. It's more of a I'm from Louisiana type of, this is cold to me. So
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot of like, we got hooked up with this studio here and doing these live stream gigs, and it is what it is. It's better than not doing anything. The guys that run it are really, really cool, and they make it a lot of fun. There's no substitute for playing in front of an audience, but these live stream gigs, it's been fun. And that Royce band, they actually hosted an event at this. There's this. It's an old house. It's like this big old mansion type, Pittsburgh, Victorian era mansion type house that the owners have made like this art colony thing, and they rent it out for live events and stuff. And they rented, like the Royce band literally rented it out. They had 2 of the bands I play in, and then another band, and they did this whole big event. And they did it in the beginning of October, and it's an outdoor event in the beginning of October. I'm like, ain't nobody coming to this. I was fully expecting for it to just flop, and we had to, I think they ended up turning people away because we couldn't enforce the social distancing because so many were coming in. And I was very, very wrong on that one. And, I really thought we were going to be playing to nobody. And so people were, in that regard, I think people have just been so cooped up lately that they just want to get out.
Yeah, any reason.
Give me some.
Yeah. And so it's kind of a good time for music. I hope that it gets better. I'm really hoping that I think the other thing too is, we're going into the winter season, and that's when the gigs die off anyway, after New Year's Eve. And so I'm really hoping that when the summertime rolls around, hopefully we're in a better spot with this virus, and hopefully people will come out and it'll, the scene will come back eventually.
Yeah, I kind of didn't really appreciate having the opportunity to be like, no, I don't want to play that, until the opportunity was taken and it was no longer a choice to whether or not you can play somewhere. So it's been an adjustment. I assume for everybody here, it's been an adjustment.
Yeah.
Man. So, okay. So, John, how long you been doing YouTube, Johnny?
So I actually started at the start of the lockdown here in the UK. It was probably like April time, I think. But started putting out weekly videos about 7 months ago now. So only 7 months in I am, and I've just got just surpassed 800 subscribers.
Sweet.
So it's still in its infancy, but
Congrats.
Yeah, absolutely loving it.
Yeah, man,
Cool.
congrats. That's awesome.
Lobster, when you start?
I started, my first video was March 3rd, but I had been planning since, I want to say January, about like how I was going to do stuff and like gathering the like supplies and figuring out like how I need to like shoot stuff and how Premiere works and shit. But yeah, so pretty much since March 3rd, and here we are.
Okay, Chris.
This has been nuts.
I'm still starting. I'm not the greatest at this. I'm still figuring it out and figuring out how to do stuff. And I'm not even going to say I've started yet. Every video seems to be better than the last, but I'm still not. I don't think I'm there yet.
That's the thing. You just got to start though, haven't you? When it comes to
Exactly what I was about to say. Like, if you don't get the content out, you have nothing to work from. If you can't push out content because you're in your head, then you don't benefit from it, and nobody else that you could possibly help would benefit from it, if that's your type of lane. So that's kind of one of the things that I kind of struggled with whenever I first started out, like 2-3 years ago. Like, I was like, who the hell wants to hear me talk, dude? Like,
yes. That's exactly where I'm at. Like, what do I have to offer?
Like, I'm just me. And if we talking about basses, I instantly go, So, but if you don't play bass, if you don't get down in that type of conversation, you just look at me like, who's this fat dude holding a freaking 4-strings bass, a 4-strings guitar? What's this? So, yeah. So I didn't know that I would actually have this or be able to do this with y'all right now. You're in the UK right now, Johnny. I never thought I'd talk to anybody. So you might as well be Scott's bass lessons to me. You Scott Divine right now.
This is actually a wig.
Surprise, bully.
Yeah.
Where's that glove?
I was gonna say.
Yeah, so this is all weird, and
it's madness, isn't it? It's so cool. And
Let's
like,
see.
I've only got 800 subscribers, which is nothing compared to you guys, but already created.
Yes, it is.
All right. Thank God you're here, Chris. Thank God.
I got I might be in double digits now.
But it's so nice to have this kind of little community of people to talk to about gear, because like, I've got loads of guitarist friends. We talk about gear all the time, but like when I start talking about bass stuff to them, they kind of go back to no, I don't really care about that. And so it's really nice. It's nice to talk to people.
Speaking of subscribers, somebody just asked for a link to my channel, so I got to jump on this.
Hey.
Speaking of the chat, just a little bit of a throwback here. We have a hashtag tickle my pickle.
Oh God.
Those thrown out there.
Oh God.
Is that not a saying where you're from?
No.
What was that?
Is that not a saying where you're from?
Okay, so let me go through.
Tickle your fancy. I guess you'd say tickle my pickle, but
You did say tickle my pickle. Oh God.
Same thing.
Oh, I can't put a link in the chat, huh?
I've just put one in the private chat I
we can put it in the description afterwards too.
Yeah, just put it in the description.
All right, so let's do
Search
that.
for Chris Volpini. Is that what it comes up as? Let's Google you, Chris.
Hey man,
Chris
don't do that on camera.
Volpini. Whoa, no, I'm just kidding.
The scandal.
They assured me that that wouldn't come up.
All right, so let's go through some of these questions or comments and see what's going on. I have a technical problem. Am I allowed to ask a question? You can if you want to. I don't know if we'll be able to answer it, but go for it. What songs have I learned recently? What songs you learned recently, fellas?
Yeah, go ahead.
I learned the Power Rangers theme song from season 1 with the guitar shredding part.
Do you know, I've just learned. Right.
I fucked up there.
Yo, collaboration. I need it. I got drums right here.
Do you have a Power Rangers costume?
I've got a glove on a Power Ranger. If it's the pink Power Ranger.
You gotta have the what was that? What was the thing called with the
Oh yeah, the belt buckle thing.
Yeah. pterodactyl?
Where's Thor?
That's funny. Now, yeah, I'm completely with this. If this is what you want to do,
Oh, dude, like how many were there?
5.
We need one more.
Oh, but then there was the White
Green
Ranger.
Green
Green
Ranger.
Ranger who turned into the White Ranger.
Yeah, he was just like all the other ones, but he had the football pads on.
Yeah.
You could always get Rumbling Man in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, I was gonna say we kind of cover like all the musical genres here. You know, once we bring Rumbling Man in, we got the country.
It don't feel right if you do that. Like it's like do the land of the land of the land of the land of the land. I hate you so much, Lobster. Oh man. Okay.
I love all you Floridians out there.
All right, cool.
Well, because of Rocco's passing, with the string company and everything, that's hit us particularly hard. So I've been learning a lot of Tower Power stuff that I learned like half the song 10 years ago or stuff. I've just been finishing learning that. And I've been learning a lot of covers for different bands, just random stuff. Like there was a Huey Lewis and the News song. There was, just whatever the bands want me to learn. But as far as just learning on my own, unprompted, it's been all Tower Power recently.
Cool.
And my God, that stuff, it's tough. He didn't play like most bass players, so it's like you got to think differently when you're learning that stuff. A lot of it's kind of counterintuitive, honestly, because it's like technically, from a music theory standpoint, a lot of the stuff's wrong, but it still sounds amazing. So you just got to kind of get out of your box when you're dealing with. Rocco was a true artist. He changed the instrument. So when you're dealing with him, he's not bound by the same things that we're bound by.
Yeah.
All right.
And then there's me, who's just learnt the Beyblade theme tune.
The who?
You guys don't know what Beyblade is? Oh no.
Beyblade. The
Yeah.
cartoon?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
It's an anime about spinning tops.
Ah.
And, Saturday morning cartoons.
Sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, man. Sweet. I've kind of been going through like the top 40 stuff, like what's on the radio, because my church does like a cover thing. So like they'll do a popular song that's on the radio and then go into the worship set. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. So mine, I did Jump and I released it on my channel. That was because we did that because Eddie Van Halen passed. So we had to learn to do Jump, and that was our cover song at the very beginning. And then today we did Sunday Best by don't make me lie. I don't know who it's by. I know the song, just don't know who it's by. So we did Dua Lipa, Don't Start Now 2 Sundays ago. So yeah.
Another song I've been studying lately is Aretha Franklin, Rocksteady. Chuck Rainey plays the bass line on that song, and that's honestly one that bass players should study. It's like the perfect song for showcasing the bass within the context of the song. So showcasing the bass without like stealing the spotlight, so to speak. Because I mean, at the end of the day, he's playing with Aretha Franklin. So that's one. If you're looking for songs to study, that's a good one.
Okay.
What he does with a chromatic walk up it makes the whole song for me. It could just be because I listen for the bass part more than the average listener, but it's just a little chromatic walk up, and it makes a world of difference.
Okay. All right. So I'm trying to get to all these comments, and I don't know if I'm gonna get to them. Bully the Kid, you did not. I'm assuming you did a video with Marcus Miller Sire bass, and I bought one off you. You did. Trust me, it's the best bass I have. I respect. Oh, heck yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Anyone heard of the Noble preamp?
Yeah.
Very expensive.
I have not.
I have
It's
not.
I think if he's talking about
It's like,
the pedal, it's like a little. I think they're very expensive. I never played through one, but by all accounts, they're.
I know the bass player that plays for Paramore now, and the bass. I think the old bassists of like the metal band Northlane. They used to use them as well, and two totally different sounds using this one amp. Obviously, loads of bass amps could be really versatile, but I was surprised that they would both use this little box. And it's only got a couple of knobs on it. I think it's not that. There's not that much on it.
The 3-band.
Okay.
It seems really cool if you want to have that like just your pedal board type thing, and you put it on your board, and then that's your whole thing. That to me, that's really attractive. Just to have like one unit that you just take off stage, pop it on, and it's there. But I've never been that blown away by the Noble when I've heard it in videos online. And to spend that kind of cash on something that I'm like, oh yeah, it might be all right.
Yeah, it is expensive. It's prohibitively expensive. It's very expensive.
Interesting choice of words. All right. I've never heard of it. I don't know what it is. I might have to do some research later.
Well, when we all get to go to a NAMM show again, we'll all try it, and we'll give our blessing or our curses to it.
NAMM show, yes. Keep speaking it into existence. I'm with it.
You guys got tickets.
Sweetness.
I have a lot of ideas.
Sorry, Johnny.
Hey, if he wants to, I can't cover his travel, but we'll make it work.
Someone's bring me over. Great.
But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of ideas for NAMM next time around.
Cool. All right. So, hey, y'all, watch our video on Suck Wire Contemporary Jazz Double H.
The one with the
soap bars. Yeah.
Soap bars, yeah. I reviewed that one in the my 3-way active jazz review.
Okay. So I picked one up for $275.
Yeah.
That's a good price.
That's a good price. And like the bones on those were pretty solid. I didn't like the finish because it had a matte finish, but it was a very cheap, almost like a truck bed liner feeling matte. Like a rough plastic feeling.
Rhino line?
Yeah, it was like a rhino liner, but not everyone. I think that's like a regional thing. We're saying rhino liner, like doing
Probably.
State. Like, Bully, do you know what a rhino liner is?
Yeah, that's what I call it.
Well, there's like when I had my truck, it was Line X. That was what I noticed in Oklahoma, as everybody called it Line X, because that was the most readily available one in Oklahoma City.
I just live here. I'm not from here. Where I come from, it's rhino liner.
Yeah, east side of the country, it's all rhino liners.
But the hardware in that Squire was pretty solid. Like, it had a nice bridge, bigger than the standard bent sheet of metal with 4 little holes in it. Like, it was a solid high mass unit and all standard sized pickups. So I didn't like the electronics, but my guitar tech said that someone brought one in and had them swap in Nordstrands and just do a volume tone, or volume tone, just make it passive. And they love it. So like, hey.
All right.
I was surprised how diverse those things are actually when I watch your review, Lobster, because they, to me, they look like they're geared towards heavy music with the active preamp and their kind of gym root matte finish.
Well, they have like a burgundy mist color now, which I'm a sucker for, and they have like they have an army, like not army green. Listen to me. I don't know what color green you would call it, but it's like a green color. I really like both of those, and it's not so rock aesthetic. It's a little bit more, middle of the road.
Is it gloss or is it satin?
It's still satin. They're still satin.
So it's like a matte green, so like an olive green type joint?
Yeah. Yep. That's a way better way of putting it than me stuttering through.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get my wife to bring in my matte finish bass because it's in the living room. That's what I played the Market Square gig with.
All right. Okay.
Oh, we got plenty of recommendations for that.
P-Bass.
Yeah, P-Bass.
Well, why don't you have a seat here?
Yeah. How much time you got?
Listen.
Bronitzer? Because I'm sure we're all going to have recommendations for that.
Yeah. All right. So what's your favorite? Do you got a P-Bass, Johnny?
Yeah, man. I've got I've got two basses with P-Bass pickups in at the minute. I've got the Squier Classic Vibe 60s P-Bass, which has got Fender pickups in it at the minute. And then I've also got a Ibanez Talman TMB 100, but that's a PJ. So if you're after something a bit different, maybe one of those.
Hello, Miss Volpini. Lady Volpini.
Hi.
Hey.
So it's for me it's all about your budget. So I'm very much a Lakeland guy. And they have a lot of good options for P basses, but I'm a huge fan of these as well, and they're a little bit more budget friendly. This is a Yamaha BB735A. So really catchy name. And this is whenever I've had a crazy time at work lately. So whenever I get to, I'm going to try to shoot this video tomorrow because I got to send this to Lobster because I'm, as always, behind on that sort of thing. And so
I don't want to live up north. This is pissing me off.
I really think this is one of the best design basses on the market today in any price range.
That's a strong statement.
Yeah, it is, and it's not one I would throw around too lightly. You're going to get this eventually, Bully. It's 100% my fault, and you'll see what I'm talking about whenever that day comes. But
cool.
For these run for like $800, maybe $900 for the 5-string. It's in that area. Okay. Brand new, and I don't think you can do any better in that price range, especially if you're wanting a P-style bass. They, the big complaint about these was always that the bridge pickup you couldn't replace because of the way it was, and they were too heavy. And this one isn't. I mean, I don't get hung up on the weight to begin with, but like, it's a lot lighter than the old ones, and it's just a regular jazz pickup now, so you can put whatever you want in there. I am going to get the Sunburst one eventually because I like it better than this matte black, but this matte black is still, I like it a lot. But I bought it as a backup to my Lakeland, and I don't know, it's really just another primary. It's basically whichever one has newer strings is the one I take to the gig nowadays. But this is a great option for a P bass. The Lakeland Skylines are a great option for a P bass. So those would be the two that I would recommend the most.
Okay.
Like you said, I think it totally depends on your budget, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't think I've ever bought a bass over £600-700. So I don't know what that is in dollars, but it's not too far.
This bass would be in that price range.
Yeah.
And they actually have this is like their top of the line for this well, it's not, but it's like the second from the top of the line.
Yeah, before the MIJ one.
Yeah, and the MIJ is like $1,500, and then this one's like $800-900. But they go all the way down the line. They have one that's at $300. I don't recommend that one as much as I recommend this one. But there is a passive one. It's just basically this bass with no preamp, and it doesn't have like the cool inlay, and it doesn't have the matched headstock or anything, but it's like around $500.
Yeah.
And it's Yeah, the 434 and 435.
Yeah.
And I've played them. They're phenomenal. The only reason, honest to God, I don't really care about active preamps that much, and the only reason I bought this is because I like the way it looked. I usually run this preamp totally neutral. So definitely worth looking at the Yamahas. They're one of those companies that just people don't think about as much, I think. And they've been making killer stuff since the 60s, really. They're a great company for music here.
Yeah, I was very close to buying a Yamaha Revstar guitar the other day.
Yeah, I had one for a long time. They're great. They're kind of they did kind of steal from Reverend, and it's interesting that they chose to call it the Revstar. But they had a guitar that was called the Revstar back in the day, so it's not like that blatant. But they are great guitars, but they have that bass contour. Like they call it something differently, but it's the same thing that Reverend Guitars uses.
Yeah, so it's not a coil tap. It's it's better than that, as they say.
It's like a reversed. It's like if you take the idea of a tone knob and reversed it. That's kind of what it is. That's the best way I can explain it.
All right.
Interesting. So, on the topic of reverends and P basses, one of my favorite P basses is the Reverend Michel Cello Fellowship.
Yes,
I got that.
They still making that?
No, well, actually, they're making it in the finish that I hate, the 3-color finish. It's like the black, green, and red.
Yeah, it's the Aboriginal
Yeah.
flag. Is it that they're still making it in that color, or do they not sell very many of them and they just have those left over? And when those sell out, it's done.
More than likely the latter.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they discontinued it. Like the style, I gotta grab it 1 second.
It's like anything else, man. It happens all the time. They have these companies have these awesome designs, but for whatever reason, they just don't sell.
Oh man!
And
so like the
they stop
styling,
making them.
like the style,
that headstock as well.
Like my webcam can't handle it.
Oh man,
Just
that is
very
clean.
simple, stacked volume tone.
Yep,
It's clean.
I love that. I love those basses.
Oh.
Yeah, my guitarist had the I can't remember any of the model names, but he had the guitar like version of one of these, and yeah, phenomenal. Such good guitars.
Reverend's another company that flies under the radar of most bass players, but if you go to their website, they're coming out with some really original designs, and I've had them all pretty much, and they're all great. It's just another company. Some of their designs, as soon as I saw them, I was like, that ain't gonna sell. It won't be around very long. And yeah, that's kind of how it's going. But it's I have a Reverend bass that I just bought that's on the way. It's just like they don't make it anymore either. It's just like their jazz bass. Their jazz pickup is basically like a Joe Barden, and yeah, and I really wanted it I'm building a pedal board for the first time in my 20 plus years of playing, and I wanted something that I thought would be good with effects, and that's what I decided on.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at the timestamps on these comments and questions, so I'm gonna run through them as quickly as possible. All right. See if I can catch up. Did a video of the Marcus Miller V7, and I bought one from the store. Sweetness. Best bass I ever had. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Appreciate that. Doesn't Tommen have flat rate shipping for us?
There we go.
What's happening?
It's Lobster being Lobster.
Plug it in.
Got Camille saying we're all bass professors. Don't know what he's talking about. Olympic white. I guess that was from the yellow, the eggshell yellow thing. I prefer natural color. Okay.
Something looks horrible. I saw that.
Yeah.
Prefer natural colors, just tints. I like natural too.
Oh, this guy thought that we were talking about him when we were talking about Volpini.
No, I was talking about, I think that's what he was asking about P bases, and I said, how much time do you got, Christopher Bronitzer?
Oh.
Because we can sit here all day and talk about this stuff.
Maybe so. Oh God. Oh God.
I'm drowning. Help!
It's
Oh,
pretty
no.
much-
Founders.
One man, okay, Alberto, IG, Bully the Kid. I'll talk to you straight up. This is a lot. Hold on.
All right, I got it. I'll let everybody read it.
Well, Peeny's fielding the questions. I've
Okay.
never used any of those Yosemite pickups, but
That's what they put in that budget-friendly American line. It used to be the highway line. I don't know what they call it now. I forget. The Player Series or something.
yeah.
They're fine. I don't, Fender's really good at advertising something that's really not that different from the last thing that they had. But they sound good, Of those two choices, I would probably go with the Seymour Duncans because you're getting the hum canceling jazz pickup.
There is that. That's all.
Speaking of Fender and Mr. Bully the Kid, I gotta say that Fender did pull an Ernie Ball with the American Pro Series. And what I mean by that is Ernie Ball took the Stingray in 2018 and did a facelift. I mean, they added a fret, new hardware all around, new electronics. It looks the same, but to the untrained eye. But when you start looking at stuff, you're noticing all these major differences, which for Fender is like a big departure. The lightweight tuners, I'm not sure if the bridge is the same.
They've been using that bridge since 2012, and they just keep advertising it like it's something new.
Yeah, I don't think the bridge is new, but the tuners are new, and those are
Pickups are new too.
Yeah, the new pickup. I think you have an extra fret. The new neck joint.
Yeah. I did play a new Pro, the Pro 2, and I gotta say, if I was in the market for something like that, I'd probably buy one. It was that good.
Yeah,
it's nice. It was just a 4-string P bass, but it's I really liked the neck, and I'm a huge fan of the V mod pickups. They get a lot of hate, but I think they sound awesome, especially the jazz ones.
I haven't heard the jazz ones, but the P, and I think it's pretty unique that they use two different types of Alnico pickups in that setup. So I got the 5-string version, right? I'm sure y'all.
And that awesome color, that awesome ass color,
dude. So this is behind that color. This is the whole scene behind that. I thought I was gonna get like a midnight blue, like a very dark blue.
Yeah, they have one.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Let me get the dark blue one. And he was like, "Okay, cool." I opened up the box, and that was legit. My reaction, and then I had to steal the Temple of Time thing because I thought that was funny. But that was legit. My reaction, I was like, "That is not dark blue." I like this. This is funky.
What do you guys think of that midnight blue? I'm really torn on it.
It's not for me. Not like I like Bully's midnight blue bass. When it comes with like a pick guard and stuff, I don't think it looks right. But
I think it would look cool on a stage.
Well, hold on. We talking about like a dark blue, or we talking about my bass's color?
That new Fender color. No, the new Fender color that just the one you were trying to get. Yeah.
It's almost like black on the inside. Then it's got it's almost like a pinstripe of like bright neon looking blue. It's really weird to describe, but
yeah.
They've not done something like it before.
I'm not a fan of it on a P bass look. But I like the color. Like if you just painted a piece of wood that color, I'd be into it. But with the whole package of like looking at it on like a P bass, it's just like it's not my cup of tea. But I'm but one person.
I like their the silver burst. I wish they did that with the maple neck.
Pretty cool. That looked pretty cool.
Yes, and I liked the new Ultras when they had that brownish color. I thought that looked cool with the maple neck. What they call it, like iced tea or Texas tea or something like that.
Yes, the Texas tea. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that looked great. I was a big fan of that one.
Yeah, I like that as well.
Hashtag tickle my pickle.
Yeah. I have a question for a vintage sound, which is better, Fender? Yes. Oh, that's what y'all were talking about.
For a vintage sound.
I wouldn't say the quarter pounder.
No, not for a vintage sound.
Nope.
Really hot pickups. A lot of people in my realm playing with a pick, playing rock and metal. Quarter pounders are absolute go-tos.
Yeah.
Because they're just that Mark Hoppus kind of really high output pickup. So for like your Motown stuff.
So like, let me throw another option into the mix. Like probably a little bit more expensive than the quarter pounders and but the Aguilar PJ setup. You get the hum canceling jazz pickup, and it's definitely a vintagey sound. And
a hot $200 though.
it is. But you know, it's all on what you want. You could just get the jazz pickup, and I've done it. And another one too is the Seymour Duncan. You could get a Seymour Duncan Apollo pickup, and
that'll do it. I was gonna say DiMarzio.
Yeah.
I had a DiMarzio pickup, and that was pretty mellow, and I swapped it out for a quarter pounder because I'm a slap dude. So
yeah, I like. I'm a big fan of the Seymour Duncan Apollo line. They don't. You have to call them. I used to know it off the top of my head which P pickup they recommend. I think it's just their 60s P pickup. Which one they recommend to go with that Apollo pickup, because they don't have a set. You have to buy like the bridge pickup and the whatever P pickup from them, and they have a recommendation, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
I do want to say thank you, Beard of Doom. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Hey, on the topic of P pickups and DiMarzio, did you guys see their new Relentless pickup, which is the Billy Sheehan signature?
Ooh.
Thanks to you, I have. Yeah.
Metal enclosure. You can get it in chrome, gold, or black. It sounds mean. It sounds so. It almost sounds like. I mean, it sounds like a Billy Sheehan bass, honestly. Like,
well, EMG has that one that they're putting in that Schecter bass too. That's the same deal. It's metal.
Yeah.
It's in metal.
I was talking to Nino about that. He was trying to get the jazz set, the Rob Trujillo signature, and those are coming early next year, I think.
Yeah, I'm so enamored with those Schecter basses right now that I kind of want to just buy one just to try it.
Schecter. I'll say I've had a Schecter.
I've had a Schecter bass too. It got stolen, but
I've had them. But these new basses that they're coming out with are like they're so interesting.
Did you see the Nicky Six jazz bass?
Yes. Yes. And that Thunderbird, the Ultra or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah. The Ultra is cool.
The Corsair that I have of Lobsters right now, I did a gig with that. And it does very, very well. Schecter's pretty exciting right now, and everything's such a good price point.
In terms of like out the box playability from when you get a new bass, arguably that shouldn't really be a point, because every bass is going to need a setup. But when I got my Schecter Model T, that was like my third ever bass. PJ, Maple Neck, all that one. I was absolutely blown away, and to this day, I've never had a bass do that to me straight away when I've had it. That one was just
Schecter is another. People see that and they automatically think, oh, it's like a budget company and all this. No, they make some. They've been around a long time, and they make some great stuff.
Yeah, I had a 6-string Stiletto Studio or whatever, and it was the all wood one, like the bingo looking or whatever it was. Yeah, with the gold hardware, and it looked the part. It was.
Yep.
I was like,
I had a 5-string. That was the first 5-string I ever bought. Was that same line?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Schecter's one of those companies that really just gets pigeonholed. Like ESP is another one where they're associated with a specific image. Yep. Everything outside of there gets ignored.
I kind of blame ESP for that though, because they're terrible about advertising that stuff. If you go to their YouTube channel, it's all heavy metal stuff. Like they don't.
What's their artists lineup like as well? It's probably all metal dudes, isn't it?
Rocco Presti and Bunny Brunel. Yeah. Jazz guy and a funk guy.
It's been corrected.
And like, if you look over in Japan, there's ESP is the Fender of Japan, and that's like the people you see playing Fenders over here, like that's the equivalent over there. It's just they don't really advertise. They advertise towards the metal crowd, So that's how they're seen. So to me, it's like, yeah, they're pigeonholed, and maybe it's unjustly, but it's also that's who they market to. So
Yeah, it's kind of their fault.
yeah, it's kind of their fault that they've been pigeonholed like that.
Speaking of Japan, FGN, how do you say it? Fujigen.
Yeah, Fujigen.
Fujigen.
What are your thoughts? Because I've
Oh,
always
my
been
God.
tempted, and I'm
Lobster
tempted now.
Lobster hates them.
Oh,
Yeah.
he hates him.
All those FGN, Lakeland, FGN.
They've just started becoming more available in the UK, and I'm like, "Ugh," and more affordable as well, actually, because normally they'd be
Listen.
like well over 1,000.
I'm gonna
But
tell you
now,
this: if you have the opportunity to put your hands on it, he makes me gas so hard. He has one bass by Fujigen, and it's like a double P, and I'm like, you mother.
Yeah, that's the
Oh.
one. That one's on my. I have a list, and that one's on the list. It's near the top of the list too.
They're so
Anyway.
good. That one in particular is, especially for like rock and stuff. Like
That's
when
got quarter pounders, doesn't it?
yeah, 2 quarter pounders, and it's just I don't know the sum of the parts is just.
I
I really like where they put them too. It's not where you would expect to see.
Towards the center, so the it's almost like the treble side of the bridge pickup and the bass side of the neck pickup are in the traditional P spot, and they're kind of go off from there. So one's not right against the bridge; they're both kind of central, but the tones you get separate and together are very distinct and very good.
I was well impressed when I watched your video on that one, because I was like, how is that going to sound with that, that rear P pickup? But sounds awesome.
And yeah, those are you can they're on Toma now. There's a few other shops that sell them, and yeah, brand new. They're was it $850 or so pounds? I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not like crazy either. And for what you get, handmade quality out of Japan. I mean, these are the guys who make the Prestige Ibanez stuff. They make a lot of the Fender Japan stuff. These guys know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I'm sure you heard him play it, so you know what it sounds like, and you know what it can do, right? So
it's a really interesting bass. That's kind of what I'm getting at in my old age. Is I'm going for like these. I call it being unique without being weird designs.
Yeah,
and
That's perfect, man.
that's
really good.
that's kind of what's like attracting me nowadays.
you'll have a BC Rich before you know it.
Hey, I would definitely be into a BC Rich. I almost bought one. The ones from the '80s are really good, and it's not all corn. You know, a lot of times it looks like BC Rich's goal was to see how many corners they could put on an instrument. But this one's called the Eagle bass, and it's actually a double P as well, and it's the last bass my uncle bought for himself before he gave up music. So I really wanted one. And I found it was like there's the American ones, which those are holy crap. Like if you get the American made ones from the 80s, you're talking like $2-3 grand, and that's getting a deal. But there's also like the Japanese ones, and I was looking at a Japanese one, but I couldn't. He wasn't willing to ship, and it was in Dayton, Ohio, which was where my parents live, and I was trying to work it out, but I couldn't get out there, and he sold it too soon. But I was gonna get it. I had made up my mind, but just couldn't. He wouldn't ship it, and I couldn't get out there in time.
That's one of those examples. I've just had a look because I wasn't familiar with it, so I've just had a look.
Mhm.
And that's one of those examples where it's like a traditional bass with a bit of a twist, with
Yeah,
the
it almost looks like some of the Olympic stuff from back in the day. It's kind of like that vein. But I've played one. I played an American one a long time ago, and it has so many knobs and switches on it. I don't know what the hell half of it does.
Yeah.
But it played it phenomenally. And I'm somebody that doesn't usually like vintage basses, but I like the way they sound, but I never like the way they play. But this one played phenomenally, and it sounded like it had a very unique sound, but still good.
Nice.
Right. So they think we're really good at doing this. So, hey, get with your dude at
Hey,
MJC so I can
part
get
of
my
your daily
doggone
breakfast.
promo video. What happened to the promo video, dude? MJC dude,
Huh?
the
What
promo
happened to
dude.
the guy,
The guy,
video guy.
the video
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, you need to be the promo.
We're the video guys.
Yeah, we are.
Look at me. I am the promo guy now.
Yeah. You had to remind me. So that's how good we're doing. No, I mean it's definitely on the list. So the situation with MJC right now is, we're doing a lot in terms of product releases. That's what we're getting ready for, and we've had COVID. We're not immune to COVID, and we've had a lot of supply chain issues, and working through that and just being able to fulfill the orders that we have has been a challenge lately. As every company's going through it right now. We're not. It's not any harder or any easier on us. But I will say is that we're still an upstart. So a company like, the big company that starts with a D, they already had an infrastructure in place. We were still building our infrastructure when this all happened. So we kind of got our legs kicked out from under us, but we're working through it. And we've actually grown during COVID. And that is a testament to our owner and just his innovation, just his ability to adapt. I mean, he's so smart when it comes to, and it sounds like I'm sucking up to my boss, but whatever. He's so smart when it comes to this stuff that if I owned the company, it would have went under. I would have never even thought to do the stuff that he did to not only keep us going, but to give us growth during a really tough time. But we have had our struggles. The post office has been losing a lot of orders and stuff. And we've had our struggles with that. And we've had our struggles just like getting our wire and getting, one stupid thing that we had was the tins. Our strings come in a tin, and we had trouble getting tins for a while. So we were looking at doing alternate packaging, but we didn't. Thankfully, it came through, and we didn't have to go that far. But it's I mean, we're just getting through the challenges. But yeah, we're definitely looking to do. YouTube is going to be the focus of our marketing campaign that I'm heading up, and you guys will be involved in that as much as you're willing to be. So it's an exciting time for us. You can see it. It's like real tangible things that you can see that we're steadily upticking. And and you're all in, at least you two, we can talk to Mr. Dibble, at least you two are going to be a big part of it.
I can dig it. Cool. Let's see. Yes, Ben, we talked about it a little bit earlier.
I'm not seeing these as fast as.
Dude, I'm behind.
Okay. Enhanced spaces.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it now.
Enhanced?
Heard of them, never played. Isn't that the one with the Music Man precision setup?
Yeah.
P-Funk.
P-Funk.
He's the P-Funk.
Make my funk the P-Funk. I want my funk funked up.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. Moving on. We were talking about this a little bit earlier, talking about PJ's combinations and stuff like that.
I have got a Giza EMG sitting on my desk upstairs, ready to go in my Squire.
I've yet to try them. I'm not a huge EMG guy either, but I was wrong about Seymour, so I need to give him another shot.
Yeah, hey, there we go.
Out of the pickup drawer down here.
Oh, you got a pickup drawer too? Yeah, I got stuff that I took out of the box a long time ago. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Gotta put in something to find out.
Yeah,
Dude.
here I literally have a jazz pickup sitting right here on my desk, and I actually think that's out of a Yamaha. It is. It's out of a Yamaha.
I found
the rest of the bass.
I found a body blank under my bed.
I was telling Lobster the one day I found a Fender Rumble combo in my basement. In this we have like this closet under the stairs that we never open that we haven't really opened since we moved here. And there was a Fender Rumble I'm like, what the hell? Where did this come from? And it's in my living room now.
Does it work?
Yeah, it's fine. It works fine.
Is it one of the old ones or the newer ones?
It's one of the new ones. It's one of the newer ones. I have no idea where I got it, but it's mine. So
It's mine now.
yeah.
Coffee house gig. Check.
I have a heart key that I use for that, but yeah, it's a living room amp. It's gonna live in the living room.
Okay. Let's see. I am behind.
That heart key 508 for you guys looking for a good low price combo amp that you can use. That thing, it's so damn loud. I've used it in outdoor shows with a full band. I think they're like $500. They're not selling that well, so you can probably get it even cheaper. But that heart key, there's a 210 and there's a 4.8. I have the 4.8. The 210 is great too. It's definitely the way to go.
Okay.
It's funny we talk about talking about like amps and using them live and stuff. Interesting, you guys said on your last one of your live streams you did before I was watching, and you're saying like about wattage and like how much you need live, and that now you hardly need anything because it's just going straight front of house. So
yeah,
pumping it out there.
Yeah, and amp wattage is kind of like horsepower with cars. The way they market it is not the way that it is a lot of times.
Well, I think bass gear is now more kind of gearing towards that kind of, direct in. This is all you need in one unit type thing now, isn't it? There's a lot of
everything's going that way. I mean, the amp industry is going to die eventually, or it's not going to die, but it's going to evolve into more of a all-encompassing thing instead of having bass amps, guitar amps. It's just the way it's going to go.
It's funny, isn't it? Because like I've got a Line 6 HX Stomp, which I use for most of my videos at the minute. And when I first got it, I was just like, oh my God, there's too much. And there's so much twiddling little I much prefer like a, really tactile. Yeah, that's my tone. Yeah. And twiddling it as I go, as opposed to going in and saving presets and doing that type of thing.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it. But yeah, it does take some getting used to because I just prefer being able to change what I need based on the room, based on the rig that I'm running through, because 9 times out of 10, when I go to a gig, I'm taking my pedal board and just my head, and the headliner band is providing the backline. You just said it.
The biggest thing is not having this blanket approach to EQing to the room you're in, because it's a sound chamber and they're all different. So you're already on the right track with that. You got to think of it as kind of like a giant acoustic guitar or something. You have to EQ to the room, and it can. Some people don't get that. They have their settings, and this is the way I'm going to do it every time, and they don't understand.
Sound amazing in the practice room or at home. You're like, oh, this is great. I'll save all these settings. Brilliant. Get to the gig, and you're like, well, where's my high end gone, or where's my low end? What's happened?
Well, I hate the sound of a P bass by itself. I hate it. Don't like it at all. But there's something that happens in a mix that makes it.
Really?
I do not like the sound of a P bass by itself.
I think the P bass is, and why it stayed like so classic, is because it just sits so well in every kind of mix. Like whenever I'm grabbing a bass to record something, I always end up just going back to my P bass because it just fits so well.
I had this argument often. Is like when you talk about versatility, the conventional wisdom, we're not going to say the name of the forum, but when you talk about versatility, P bass is probably the last thing that comes up on that list. But to me, it's because like there's two ways to think about versatility. There's like a bass that can get 1,000 different tones, like a bongo or something, and okay, that's versatile. That's on the nose, versatile. But the P bass, it can only really get like 3, a few tones or whatever. And, but it works for everything. So to me, that's versatile. Like you can play a P bass in any genre and it's going to sound good.
Yeah. I didn't understand that until I got a P bass as well.
Yeah.
I was always like, why would I want a P bass when I've got a jazz bass? You're like,
Yeah.
I can pull off that bridge
That was-
pickup and get kind of close, or if I've got
That was
have
me.
that bright clanginess.
That was me. And then for whatever reason, I started to like, I would pick up my P7 way more than I would pick up my V7. And these are sire bases, you know what I'm talking about? So I would pick up the P1 and then I kind of, how I would do, okay, so like, let's say D10 is between both pickups, right?
Yeah.
I would roll 50% to the P bass, and then the tail end from my high-end stuff would be the jazz, but I would end up playing over my jazz, so I would get the burpee, whatever. And that was just like the perfect, that was the cubby hole that made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Now I tend towards the Music Man and P, which is why my bass is that combination, so I can have both basses at one time.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm very similar. Like one of my favorite pickup configurations is a PJ, because I love the sound of a P pickup, and then just dialing a little bit that bridge gives it that that high end. And we play completely different genres as well, and for that to fit in, with both of those so well is speaks for itself.
Yeah, and so I'm like Bully, where I've gotten into the because of Lakeland, I've gotten into the Music Man with the jazz pickup in the case of the Lakeland, but you can really mess with the mid range dip switch and stuff, and you can really get a very close P bass vibe out of it. But yeah, the older I get, the more I walk away from the straight jazz bass, and that used to be what I was super into. I still like them, but when it comes to playing in a mix with a band, I just Rumbling Man actually he hits on it a lot on his channel. Is there's just something about that split coil pickup that makes it just punch through the mix every time so much better than a regular jazz pickup.
Okay, I have a theory about it, and I'm sorry I'm cutting you out.
No.
I feel like it's inherently mid-range present, which is why it sticks out in the mix. Like it's even if you dial the tone all the way out, there's still some mid-range peak that's there that makes it be not kick drum and also not keyboard. It's just this. That's my theory. I can't prove it.
I wonder if it has to do with the way a P pick, because it's a split, because it's two pieces instead of one, how you can radius it with the neck.
Maybe so.
You
kind of put it like that into each other. That's what
yeah. Like if you look at it like if you take a factory setting P bass and if you look at it down the neck, you're going to see like like in the middle, it's like a hump kind of. Yeah. And I wonder if that has something to do with it. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what the voodoo is, but
that will kind of explain why jazz basses can't do it, because it's one flat bar.
Yeah, and the like the Joe Bardens are radiused with the neck, and they do have more mid range. I mean, maybe we're overthinking it. Maybe it really is just that simple.
It's closer to the freaking string.
It's closer to the string, yeah.
I think it's definitely a testament to the Leo Fender design of the P bass, because the P bass was essentially like the first real bass, and it wasn't built for electric bass players because electric bass players weren't a thing. This was built to sit in a mix. It was purpose built to be recorded. It was purpose built to be that, and it evolved from that. Whereas the other designs were kind of like, okay, I want a bass, but I want it to have this kind of tone or that kind of tone. And like, with your jazz bass, you have the two pickups. You can go from one to the other. You have very distinct voices, but whether or not one's gonna 100% always work in the mix is up in the air. Like the Jocko tone, the nasally bridge pickup tone isn't going to work in a lot of circumstances, and the neck pickup isn't a P bass either. That neck jazz pickup is kind of just there.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It sounds like a P bass when you're playing in your bedroom, but then if you try to put it in a mix, it's like, no, it's the same thing. Yeah, this isn't the same thing. And I've gotten. I'm very much like the honestly, my 5502, my Lakeland, and I use that for mostly everything, but like that's like the only bass that I have now that doesn't have a split coil pickup. It's kind of weird now that I'm thinking about it. It's that Rocco bass is really becoming one of my favorite sounding basses that I have, and it's definitely got a split coil, and it's got that jazz pickup is tilted, which kind of gives it that same magnetic range as a P bass pickup. So that's why I'm building one.
Yeah.
Nice.
What part of England are you from, Johnny?
The best part. No, I'm from the southwest, so a county called Somerset, kind of near the city of Bristol. So like
Okay,
half an hour from
all right.
Bristol.
So I've been in Mildenhall, which is up north, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't recognize the name of it, so yeah, it must be up north.
Maybe that's the name of the base.
It's very true. Come on, get on it.
Do it. You're getting lazy on them.
Yeah, we're about like 3 hours west from London.
Okay, I think Mildenhall is like 2 hours north of London, but I'm not totally sure. It's we stopped there on the way back from a deployment, and we either go there or we go to Shannon, Ireland, and so yeah, it's. I never leave the airport terminal, so I don't really know, but
it's dry in the airport terminal, so you're all right.
Yeah. Well, I want to go see England. I have this weird dream of owning a pub in the English countryside.
You can't beat that. That's
Yeah.
the life, mate.
So
yeah, no. I kind of live in a place where I'm close enough to the city, but I'm still really rural and in the countryside. And like, I just love being able to go outside, or like a 10-minute drive, and then you're in like the middle of nowhere. And you just I'm a big
that's what I
walker
like
as well.
too.
So like,
I watch too many scary movies. I can't have that.
Hey, to answer Eddie's question, actually, that's a question for Chris right now because he's holding on to that Ibanez until he sends it over to Bully. Have you played that at all? Did you notice any buzz on that jazz pickup?
On the Ibanez?
Yeah, on the Talman.
No.
Sounds getting a little bit of single coil hum. It was the 505.
Yeah, no. I can grab it real quick and see, but I didn't notice anything.
Let's answer Eddie's question.
All right, hang on.
Here to get answers. I need answers.
Well, you're gonna hear a buzz right now, but hang on.
Yeah, I'm in possession of a TMB 100 at the minute, and I have mixed feelings about that bass. It was like highly recommended, and I was like,
I'm not gonna poop on them, but I'm gonna say this: I bought the Talman. One thing, I absolutely hate the headstock. I hate it. I hate the headstock.
that weird offset.
I hate it. Second thing, the 300 series was freaking phenomenal. The 5-string Talman 105. If I didn't have a bass and I needed something that I can gig around with, it'll work. It's extremely hot, but it'll work. But like, I'm not pulling it out first. Like, if I have a choice of all my basses, that's not going to be my top.
I had the one with the Nordstrom TJ pickups in it. It was like the natural finish torque pick guard.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
So I had one of those, and I never gigged it. I never left my house, but before I sold it, I don't know what it was. It sounded great, that bass, but it's just one of the things where you just don't gel with the instrument. And I just wasn't feeling
That's
it.
all gear is a matching game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing with this, the TMB 100. I hate the electronics. I don't think they're very good at all. And like the pickups are really sharp on the edges. Little things like that annoy me because I play really aggressively. I'm like slicing up my hands when I'm playing it. So
I noticed.
Love how it plays.
I had a 100, and I noticed like some finished flaws and stuff like that. But it's also, total picture. It's what are they, like $180?
Listen,
yeah,
listen. I would hear your argument. However, Harley Benton is out here pushing it out, so you can't do that no more. So I would
So-
I
say
never played a Harley Benton. I can't.
you,
They're,
me,
they're
Lobster.
so clever.
Lobster, I know
Totally.
you got to send him one.
Yeah, we'll send you one, Chris. Also,
gonna
quick
get
shout out
4 in the
to
post.
Buck Pucker. What's up, Buck Pucker?
What is it?
His name is Buck Pucker. He's my good friend.
Maybe your very good friend.
It's actually my best friend.
Interesting. Harley Benton's are coming up fast. Sorry, a slightly better build and better pre, but he won amazing value. Benton.
I haven't gotten an accurate depiction of a sire yet either. I really.
They sound like like in my head whenever I hear them, I just think that like that is what a jazz bass should sound like. That is like the super jazz bass. I always think whenever I hear one.
Does my bass come through?
No.
I was nodding to the sire.
How do I get the? How do I get?
Go to your recording, whatever you used, your DAW, turn that on, and then press record, and it should come through your interface. That's what
Recording.
I have.
Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying.
That's what I have to do. I don't know if that's right, but it works, so that's what I'm gonna continue to do.
Yeah, the
Did it work?
Nope.
Press
Okay.
record. Well,
I did.
just-
It is recording.
Is it arming?
Hang on.
What's up, Nero? What's up, Jodas?
Dude. Let's see. Yeah, I heard that. Did you do something? No.
Anything on that?
Nope.
I thought I heard it for a second. Oh, you playing. That's you up there, Johnny. Okay.
So, Lobster, what do I do?
I don't know. You got an amp?
Not in this room.
Oh well.
I can do this, but then you guys might hear yourself. Hang on. Go ahead and talk. Go ahead and talk.
Pizza paddle.
Pizza paddle.
How about now?
Yep.
Can you guys hear yourself echoing though?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
What'd you do?
I just plugged my speakers back in. That's why I don't have an amp in here. I just run it through my. I have those powered, the little powered monitors that I run it through.
Okay.
All right. So. All right. So that's the bridge pickup. I don't notice any more hum.
It was just all my like freaking light.
Yeah.
Have any of you played the Sire M series?
No. Bully has some M's. Bully's the M man.
I had an M7, which was really cool, but it crapped out on me on stage while the batteries went, and that's when I was like, I'm never having that kind of thing ever again.
So one thing that does annoy me about the town, about this one in particular, is like, I don't know if it's just, they didn't quite put the tuners in the right place, but once the strings get past the nut, it's like chaos. They're just going all kind of different ways. I like straight string pull.
Okay. Hold up, Johnny. Is that an active bass?
Yes, it is.
You might need to change your battery, but it sounds like it's dying.
Either that or
I think we. Oh, hang on. There we go.
hey, there it is.
That don't
I
sound
think
bad.
Kitty-
Leave one
yeah.
Yeah, this one in stock came with a tall pick guard, and like it was one of those like in the early Harley Benton ones. They had just this printed taut,
Mhm.
really bright red, awful looking. I thought, and that was the same with this. And so
Yeah.
I got a custom mint one made for the Sunburst.
I had the yellow color that they come in, and I tried to get a black pick guard made, and I went cheap, and that's why you don't go cheap, because the guy didn't do it right. So I just put that crappy tort one back on. It looks like ketchup. It looked like ketchup and mustard, but whatever.
Speaking of pickguard, Johnny, your Epiphone Embassy, that is a good looking bass.
Yeah, I want one of those in the worst way. Are they good? Are they pretty good?
Really, really cool. I kind of bought it because I was like, oh, I see what this kind of thing does for me. They'll probably sell it on afterwards. But now I'm like, oh, great. Now I have to make room for another bass and keep this one around.
Yeah, I kind of want one of those old like Japanese type basses, like the just like that sound. And that seemed like a cheap way to get that sound, but I was like hesitant because they're only like $300, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not much money at all. This one's got the guy sprayed the pickguard orange, it's a black base. So it just looks really cool. And it's got Gibson Thunderbird pickups in it. I don't know what year. I haven't had a look underneath.
Yeah, it's like the chrome covered ones, right? Like I want one of those. I kind of want one of those.
It's a really cool bass for me. I've got I can't remember what amp model I'm using on the HX now for it, but it's super vintage sounding. And when you crank the distortion on it, I've got a Boss DS1 on like a split channel, so you don't lose any low end when you're using that guitar distortion. And it's one of the best sounding basses I've had for distortion. Like plays.
I'm new to the pedal game, but I have this. So my big thing with bass overdrive is so many of them suck the low end out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, really getting picky about overdrive. But I ended up getting this thing, and I like it a lot. Way Huge Pork and Pickle.
Yeah, they're meant to be really good. They really tickle my pickle.
Well. So it's not just a clever name, but it actually has a tone knob on it, so you can dial it back and keep your low end.
Obviously, like Dark Glass is a huge name in terms of bass.
I have a Dark Glass compressor.
Yeah, is that the newer one with like
this thing?
Touch?
My best friend works at Sweetwater, and again, I'm a moron in a lot of ways, but especially when it comes to pedals. But it's this one.
Yeah, the Hyperluminal, I think it's called, that one.
Yeah, it's got something that you plug into the computer with, and I was like, that's in a drawer somewhere. I'm not even going to mess with that. And
I've had a couple of Dark Glass pedals, and like I'm a big overdrive person. They just don't do it for me. I like to have a nice clean tone, and then to have the distortion to add on top. Whereas I don't like the Dark Glass clean tones that they do with their pedals.
Yeah,
interesting. Interesting.
So I like to have.
They were at NAMM, at the last NAMM I was at. They were. Did they have something going? Lobster, you probably know. Did they have something going on with Spectre?
Dingwall. They do lots of.
You're right. It was Dingwall. What am I talking?
They do the Dingwall preamp.
Yeah.
It's an exclusive
They
preamp.
were in the same booth.
And then they have the tone capsule, which doesn't have like the mid frequency selector, because the tone capsule doesn't have the mid sweep. The Dingwalls have the mid sweep.
They're such like a perfect combo if you're into that kind of sounds. Like,
I played a Dingwall. It was a the Lee Sklar model, and that's another company that gets pigeonholed as like a metal company. But no, that thing's awesome. I haven't played the Combustions or anything like that, but everyone that I've played a few different Dingwalls, and everyone that I've played has been phenomenal, regardless of what genre you're trying to do. Is it your best option for like a Motown thing? Maybe not, but it's still you could do it easily.
Yeah. In terms of like, because
I forgot how good this neck feels.
I think they color tone too much, because I had a Sans amp paired with a Dark Glass, and when you put the Dark Glass on, it just completely colors your clean tone completely, takes over, and it's just that tone. And I was, it changed the frequencies too much, and so that you kind of lose it, even though you're boosting the volume. It just didn't do it for me. So my favorite overdrive distortion pedal that I've played is actually the Tech 21 Doug Pinnick one, the DPX.
Okay. Well, yeah. I've never tried it.
It's the best sounding Dark Glass pedal I've ever played. It just has that clean punch. You can hear the tone in there as well, and just whilst adding that really.
That's my big thing, is I just don't want it to sound like nonsense. I still want I want it to be my tone, only overdriven.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I feel this one does for me. I still need to get one as well because I borrowed
feel
it.
like-
Somebody locally lent it to me.
I feel like y'all are already ahead of the game because I don't even know if I have a tone or not. It's kind of like, does it have strings?
You know, it's so my thing is like it's like you know, this is it's just with the so this is what I sound like on this on a super modern active preamp thing, and then I have my sound on a P bass and I have my sound on a jazz bass. It's just like you know, it's not universal. It's definitely not universal, but I have the things that I EQ towards on, you know, with regard to the instrument that I'm playing. So like that's one of the reasons I'm such a Lakeland nerd, is like that's the easiest one for me to do it on.
Mm-hmm.
And playability is also a big thing with me. Lobster knows how I set my strings, so
Resting on the frets, basically.
And I know how he sets up his strings because I haven't touched the setup on this. But it's you know, it's just whatever I have to do, at least amount of work to get the desired effect. So that's why I go for Lakeland and Yamaha as well, is I don't have to do much to get it to where I want it. I get aggravated pretty quick, and I'm like, and that's why I've owned 100+ basses, because I'm like, nope, sell it, get another one.
Yeah. And that's why sometimes having a bass that does like a million different sounds is sometimes not good, because then you're like, oh no, because now I want this other bass, but this one does it all. So should I?
Yeah. So Eddie Stevens is on here, and he's a self-proclaimed Sire King. I brought that up. He owns the M2 and the M7. I originally wanted the M7, but didn't want to pay that money. But then the M2 came out, and I didn't have the cold tapping options for the series parallel, all that stuff available. He told me that there's so many options available with all that cold tapping stuff that you just get lost in the combinations. So, and then on top of that, you have the 7-button preamp. Aside from that,
the Sire preamp.
So I had the M7, and the neck beautiful, like, and it sounds great. Like it sounds great, but again, it's that you've got a million different knobs, and then you're like, oh, what does this one do? Is this one bass? Is this one, you know? You just totally get lost in that, I think. And for me now, I've realized that I like my bass to be as simple as possible, and then my tone have that bass, you know, that kind of foundation of tone that bass sounds like a P bass, you know, and then the shaping then I do via pedals and via the amp. I'm a massive pedal board guy, so that's my way of thinking when I approach bass tone. Anyway, you know, I want to have one sound on my bass and then tweak as I need to on ground, you know, as opposed to twiddling loads of knobs on my bass.
Yes,
and the M7 taught me that, definitely.
I feel like the older I get, the more I pretty much set it and forget it at 0, at detent.
Yep. And that's what I was going to get at is, you know, am I the oldest guy in here? I'm old.
I'm 34.
Okay. Age. All right. So like the you know, when I was coming up, 90s kid, it was all about getting, you know, like this exotic wood with as many knobs as you could put on it. And, you know, and I watch these, you know, I play with younger people. So like we play these shows with other bands of younger people, and I watch how they do stuff, and it's like, you know, the funniest thing I ever saw was this guy had an Aguilar rig, a nice Aguilar rig, and he had the tone hammer head with the tone hammer pedal, and I'm looking, he's just looks like he's working on a Soviet submarine, just turning these knobs, and after he was done, I was like, man, it took him forever, for one thing. And if you're a gigging musician, I don't want to be dicking around with knobs that long.
Nope.
And I walked over and looked, and the frequencies that he cut on the tone hammer pedal are the frequencies he boosted on the tone hammer head. And I was like, so he's flat.
Is the point in the tone hammer pedal not to achieve the tone of the tone hammer head?
I have no idea what the logic was behind him even having that. At first, I thought, okay, maybe he's got a fretless and a fretted. He's using it as a second channel.
There's a dirty channel on the Aguilar pedal.
Yeah, the AGS, but he wasn't using that.
Just wanted a wall of EQ, just so much.
Well, he was just canceling himself out. And I was like, man, I mean, okay.
Reminds me of me in high school. So I was always a bigger is better guy in high school and had like a Ampeg 410 cab with the extended frequency and an 8-space rack mount for the head that had a 1,000-watt power amp.
I don't want to carry that shit.
Yeah, but it's big. It's better. It's big. So 1,000-watt power amp, 24-band EQ.
There you go.
Dedicated 2-channel compressor, even though I'm only running a single channel.
Yeah.
And a Sansamp RBI. All that. It's like that sounds so dumb.
Me at 16, that sounds like my dream rig. Like, that's what I need to have.
My main like gigging head now is a GK Micro 200 that's this big. It fits in my bass case, and I just carry my cab. I put it down, take it out, plug it in.
You do that? I put my Trace Elliott Elf in my back pocket. Beat that.
I have a nice Mesa head that I was blessed to get, and these Avatar cabinets that are extremely heavy, but they sound fantastic. And I have this Hartkey. That Hartkey combo, I think the world of that thing. It's awesome. And I have I want to get. I really like I got the Mesa head through other means, and that's the only reason I have it, because I was going to buy one of those quilter. Those quilter. Yeah, those things are awesome. I have.
It's like 4 knobs, ain't it?
Yeah, and that's all I need. I mean, that's probably 2 more than I need.
There's 4 knobs on this wall right now.
And I went to visit my friend at Sweetwater, and he was bringing me all this stuff out. And like I said, that's what I walked away from that day saying, I'm buying that quilter head, and I'm going to get. I was going to get the quilter head and the quilter cabinets, but circumstances dictated otherwise. But that quilter stuff, and you can, because I don't know how well it sells, but like you can find them used sometimes. It's like, oh my God, I'm buying this. Holy crap. And that's a really underrated company. And that's what it is people look at, like, I have this Mesa head. It's the WD800. It's got 1,000 knobs on it. All of mine are at 12 o'clock. I never mess. I mess with the treble knob, the passive treble. That's the only one I ever mess with. And
that sounds like my settings. I've got a complete Fender Rumble rig now, which I think sounds great. And that it's just 12 o'clock. Mid, I think, scooped a tiny bit, and then the treble and maybe the bass a little bit depending on the situation. Yeah, and the Rumble is actually a Gensben's tone circuit. Oh, I didn't know that. Tone circuit. Yep, the new Rumbles are.
I didn't know that.
Yep. It's Fender's take on it, but it's like the Fender Downtown Express preamp is an Aguilar tone circuit. That makes sense. Yeah, the guy that founded Aguilar Amps works at Fender now, and he's the one making the design.
Oh,
funny, all these people move around, don't they?
Well, I mean, so the old Yamaha basses, they have kind of almost a Federa sound, and the reason is that's where Federa worked until he started his own company. I think somebody can fact check me on that, but I read that somewhere a long time ago. But it's essentially an early Federa design for the preamp.
That's cool.
And if I'm wrong, T-Pocket, I am from Pittsburgh. And if I'm wrong, somebody can call me out on it, and I'll fully admit to it. But I remember reading that somewhere a long time ago.
one of my favorite amp heads that I have played is the
That's Washington.
Gallien-Kruger, just the RB700 through.
Yeah.
I had it through my Ampeg SVT 610 I had at the time, and with a Sans amp on the board.
Mm-hmm.
That like blew my socks off, and I still haven't bought one. Like I was like, I'm going to buy one of these heads right now.
I played the Fusion, or no, it wasn't a Fusion. It was the new like Legacy. Is
Like
it a reissue? Did Gallien-Kruger do some kind of a reissue of their old 90s head? It was that. I played it as a backline. It was that with a GK 410, and the cabinet was like kind of cheap the way it was put together. I didn't think it was. I think if I had it with like my gigging schedule and stuff, it would be ripped up pretty quick. It just wasn't a very stout cabinet, but it sounded phenomenal. And I'm not a GK guy, but I was like, maybe maybe I am, because it really did sound phenomenal, and it was loud. It was. I like a loud amp. Like I like not going above 5 on the volume.
Yeah.
So
you got to be able to feel it on stage, don't you? You know, feel that air being pushed out at you.
Yeah, and that's what kind of took me away from. I was trying Phil Jones there for a while, and that's kind of what took me away from that. Is it just you could hear it, but you couldn't feel it.
The little speakers, they're all like 5 inches, right?
Tone-wise, it's one of my favorite amps I've ever played, but it just didn't get when you're playing on stage with a drummer, a hard-hitting drummer especially, it just didn't deliver for me. And I have a problem. Like I don't have a problem paying premium prices, but when I do have a problem paying, if you guys are building your stuff in China, I have a problem paying a premium price because you're not paying a premium price to build it. So that was another sticking point with me.
So I have a question for you guys. Maybe 2 questions. I don't know what to go for first. I'm considering a 5-string. I've never owned one before. What would you recommend? I'm thinking like, like $400-$500, that kind of price range. What would you say?
Who's going first?
The muted bully.
Okay, I'll go first.
You're muted.
Bully, you're muted. You're muted.
What type of music are you gonna play? Sorry about it. What type of music are you gonna play?
Oh, yeah, good question. It's gonna be rock. So it's gonna be with a pick.
Okay, I would go Sire M2. That's $400.
Let me confirm the price of my pick real quick. Go ahead, Lobster.
Yeah, I have to confirm mine as well.
Oh no,
that's a little steep.
no! You threw me underneath the bus. I'm up here.
I was gonna say those are a little steeper. I was gonna say the ESP LTD AP5.
That's an interesting pick. That's an interesting pick.
Because PJ,
tick,
gorgeous blue.
How much is that?
Those are $7.99. But wait, what is that? What is that
second
in the
hand,
pounds?
That's gonna be more in
Oh yeah,
pounds.
that's second hand.
All right, I got my pick.
They're like
Why are you cheating now?
I gotta make sure. I couldn't. I gotta confirm the price.
I'm not talking about you, Chris. I'm talking about Lobster. Talking about second hand. No, that's BS.
Oh yeah, you can't do that because you might find, well, you could get a Fender American. Someone might give it to you for free.
Free bass, best value. 5-string. What else is a good 5-string?
All right, I got mine. We already talked about it. The Yamaha BB435 PJ, miter neck joint. So if you're running around on stage, it'll hold up better. the neck actually goes like all the way back here into the body, and that's a Billy Sheehan thing. It's going to give you the added sustain, maybe, if that's true. And good hardware, solid. It's PJ, solid pickups. You can change because it's a PJ, you can change the pickups to whatever you want. They still route out. Let me confirm that too. I believe they still route out a big. Yeah, so it's big enough to get an active preamp in there if you want to go that route. You might have to do a little bit of routing, but it's big enough to get an active preamp in there.
So much to think about.
They balance really well. It's a 5-piece neck. It's going to hold a setup well. And they're lighter, and they have a standard look to them. There's nothing crazy about them.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Yamaha BB435.
It's not better than my M2. It's not better than my M2. I'm just going to say that.
It depends. Define better.
He's going to be playing rock, right? You can't say define better and start playing funk music. That's not how this works.
Oh, yeah, you guys can hear me. Shit, I'm sorry.
It's like, define better.
Part out loud.
I thought you guys couldn't hear me.
All right, so as far as tonal options go, it's a Sire preamp, so the sky's the limit. There is a whole bunch of knobs. However, you can put it on passive mode, and then there's only volume, blend, master, tone. So if you don't want to mess with the knobs, you literally got 2 spots where your hand can be, the volume and the master tone, and then there's a blend right next to it. There's that. It's double humbuckers, right? So you're already going to get that strong tone, and then if you roll to the neck pickup, you can then go into a whole different genre, and that gives you kind of a P, deeper tone.
So much there. Well, I heard.
Okay, but what did our guy say? He likes a simpler setup for the knob.
What I said. So passive.
Yeah,
has an active passive switch.
That's an extra switch on top of the extra knobs, bully.
You take the switch off after you flip it. Hell,
flip it, remove it, never touch it again.
Yeah.
Bury it.
Try the real solution here is try all 3, and then you're the one who decides who wins the argument.
Yeah. Hold on. So wait, what was your submission after?
Whoever loses is going to be executed.
What was my submission?
No, Lobster.
That was the ESP, the AP5. Hold on, let me see what that is.
That was $800 though.
Yeah, but let me see what the conversion rate is.
It's
going to be like 900.
Oh, damn it. Okay. What else we got? Hit
the bricks, Dano.
Lobster, just agree with me. That way we can.
Yeah, I like that, and I guess it would be kind of the same as what you got with your 4, but the Ray 25 CA, same 2-band. I've always enjoyed the Sterling 5 strings. They have the 6-bolt neck, which gives it a lot of stability. So the B string isn't that bad, relatively speaking, for a 34-inch scale. Like, it's not the floppy Fender B that
mine's got a 6-bolt too.
What was that? Oh yeah.
Mine's got a 6-bolt too with the writer joint.
Okay, I'm gonna do something wild card because I'm still not winning. Although I win, this is my channel.
Yeah, he's just gonna kick us off for not.
Bully's the champion. Anyway, so I'm gonna say this. You ready? Wild card. This bad boy. And it costs $197, and you can use that extra money to upgrade it if you have to.
I think if I'm going humbuckers, I think that would be a real solid choice because to try one of those out as well.
Are you picking? So another thing. So here's something that I'm weird about with 5 strings, but not 4 strings, is string spacing.
That was my next question.
So I don't like a narrow string spacing. This Ibanez is probably about as narrow as I would go.
Is that 17 or 18?
It's got to be 18. There's no way it's 17. Some of those, like ESP especially, like those 5-strings, some of those are really, really tight. And it's really easy to just accidentally, you can float your thumb and mute with like the float, what do they call it? The floating thumb technique or whatever. You can do that. But like it's really easy to accidentally hit that B while you're playing. That's one thing I like about the Lakeland is it's actually a 19 millimeter string spacing. So it's extra wide. I think the Sire actually is pretty wide.
I think it's 18 on the.
18's fine. 18's fine.
I think it's 18 on my P7. On my P7 and my vintage V7, it's 18.
I wouldn't go any more narrow than 18. 18. That's just my preference, though. So
I gotta agree with you on this one because I used to have a Ibanez 506, and I know it's a 6-string. I understand that, but like doing slap on a 6-string Ibanez 506 is
tough.
Dang, yeah. Well, because I didn't say I had to do it, because I wanted to do it. Accuracy went through the roof whenever I moved to a different bass because all I had was just this little bitty
muscle
range
memory.
Yeah, a little bitty range of motion. So
it's so that's something that, and that, at the end of the day, you really have to just play them all, play everything you can play, and make a choice. But
I'll go with the cheapest then.
Harley Benton, I win.
Yeah. Especially if it's your first foray into the 5-string world, I mean, you might as well dip your toes in the water, see if it's for you.
That's
Ooh, there is this as well. They have a PJ that's like 140 something on Tolman right now, and I think it's like red. It's a PJ, and I think it's passive.
I think they do it in white as well.
But yeah. Who is this? That's you, Johnny?
Yeah.
That was you that just played? That thing sounds really good.
That's all right, isn't it? That's just the DI as well. That's nothing else.
Really?
Let's do some more questions. I think we're way behind now.
Are we?
I've seen a bunch going across. I tried to answer. Somebody asked me if I'm from Pittsburgh, and I said, yeah.
Play a slick bass. I've seen them because we did the Guitar Fetish products, me and Bully. I mean the project, those builds. I've been curious, but at the same time, like I don't want to give them money to have an instrument of theirs. I don't want one.
I'm good.
I have a slick body and neck, and I don't like them.
I've not.
Guitar fetish body and neck, and I'm not a fan.
We got ours. The Surf and Turf was Guitar Fetish too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Pinky was Guitar Fetish body, which is extremely light.
It's so light.
Yeah, I'd like this silver sparkly P bass body from them. That it looks terrible, but it's very, very light.
Yeah, I had the it was my complete ambition. What's the most ridiculous? Like, this is my mindset. What's the most ridiculous color I could get and pair it with something else? I was like, pink, white, or pink and blue. Let's do that. I
oddly dig it though.
And I mean, nobody told me nothing. They was like, that thing is nice. And then I like beat it up. I got to like kick it around. I just like cross the grass. It was great, dude. Hit the fence. I was like, yeah, hell yeah.
I have a. So I'm getting ready to do. It's super nerdy. I think the only one I've told about this is Lobster. I have this Japanese Fender Fiesta Red P bass body, and I'm gonna try to do this P bass build where it's like all my favorite players that play P basses. I'm gonna try to do it's like. I'm gonna reverse the pickup for Rocco Prestia. I'm gonna put a Jazz Dimension neck on it for Duck Dunn. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do for Jamerson yet, but it's Fiesta Red for Pino. I'm going to do the light gauge flat wound strings for Bob Babbitt. It's just super nerdy, but it's something I'm going to do.
What happens if you get to the end of that and you're just like,
I hate it.
created a monster.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys it's awesome and try to sell it to you. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge if we get to it.
Anybody?
What?
I
Have you tried a
know
two-note
of
preamp?
them.
I have not.
I've heard of them. I did try one at NAMM. I didn't really get. It's so much background noise and stuff that you really can't. I can't give you an accurate description of it. I didn't get to mess with it for too long. Beardley Guitars. That's out of Washington, PA. That's right. That's 20 minutes away from me.
Oh, nice. You got to intercept Kevin's Beardley. Well, I guess it's headed my way after it's done.
The Steinbergers are cool.
What was it? Lex asked about
Me too.
where was it? Anyone know where we could get the wall sound from a wall bass?
Get the pickups. Those pickups that you sent me, Lobster.
Oh, what are the Sims? The Sims
Yeah,
quads.
get those because that's basically what those are. Get those pickups and put them on a P-base, like a Warmoth body or whatever, and while still making instruments, they're just very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, get those pickups, and you'll get close. I mean, the only way to get 100% is to get a wall, but you'll get close if you have the right pickups.
Oh, I had
know
my
about that.
Steinberger Spirit.
You have one?
I had one. Remember, I did the Rick Astley parody video.
Did you wait? Where's that at? Did you do the dance?
Yeah,
Like that whole.
yeah. Lobsters.
I might have watched it and forgot about it.
It's an old
Yeah.
video. It's like one of my in the first month. There it is. Here we go. I'm posting it in the comments up our.
Okay. They said the Harley Benton Enhanced is $400, and it's a little bit more. No, it is $380 something. So yeah, there you go, right there.
That has the wheel truss rod adjust, doesn't it?
I can't remember.
Some of the Harley Bentons do.
Let's see.
At the
That's a huge. That's big bonus points with me.
It
I
has
love
like
the-
I
that.
said,
Every bass guitar should have that.
yeah, I agree. It's like I said, it's specced out just like the Sandbergs.
Oh man.
Hopefully, it's
When
got a better bridge. I hate the Sandberg. I love Sandbergs. I hate the bridge.
Yeah.
I had one of the cheaper Electras. That was okay. It kind of had a humbucker that was kind of a more like middle-ish bridge position, so it wasn't as bright. It wasn't that like Music Man humbucker tone that I was.
I was so excited to get that Sandberg. I was so excited, and I got it. Beautiful bass, so well built. Sounded fantastic. Went to intonate it, and that bridge, I was like, done. Sold it.
That's the thing with this Embassy bass. It doesn't look like you can move the saddles individually. It's just the pins on the end to.
Is it a floating bridge? Do you have it handy?
Oh, it's
I
the what?
Beard of Doom. I'm always down for that. First round's on me.
It's the 2-piece like tunematic bridge.
Also, it does very, 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 very limited. So if you look in the front of the bridge, there should be like a slot screw for each saddle, and they put it on the front of the bridge because evidently they don't want you to ever get a screwdriver to it.
Yeah. Designed with that.
But it should be there if it's a tunematic. I'm down, Beard of Doom. Send me a message.
Bully, linking up the homies every day.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that if we get a NAMM show, that we get at least one sloppy night walking through Nashville or Anaheim.
So obviously, like trends over the last couple of years, short scales.
Yeah, I like short scales.
Roof. I've played them, but I've never owned one. I'm thinking about getting the Squire Mustang to review.
It's a solid
I've
choice.
heard things about it.
You know, it's Squire is always, you know, it's weird because I'm older, and usually Squire was that was like your first base or whatever, and now it's really becoming, they're making some really solid stuff. But I think sometimes I haven't owned a lot of them, but I've picked a lot of them up at the store, and there's definitely not consistent. So
Yeah.
you might get one that's a home run, and you might get one that's a strikeout.
Yeah.
It's
Look, so I'm gonna say this is my own personal story. I bought a Squire 5-string vintage modified, whatever. You remember that? Like, it was like,
I remember that video. I was deployed when I saw the video of you playing that.
I can, if it has strings and I can plug it into an amp, there's a chance that I can make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. That's being a pro.
It chopped up my GD hand. I didn't want to cuss. You know, my mom she's going to sleep. She likes to go to sleep listening to me. Watching. It sliced my hand so GD bad. I was like, oh, you could take the whole effing thing. You could take this back, Sweetwater. Philip, I'm sorry. Take this back.
Just the fret ends sliced your hand?
Oh man, look. So I wasn't tripping because I was probably gonna beat it up anyway, but there was a dent here. I've never seen a dent here. It was a dent here. I've seen dents here, maybe a chip here, something at the heel of the base or something.
Yeah.
There was a big gash right here.
Wow.
And it was like a natural base, so you can't really see it. But like my arm is over it. So now it's digging into my arm, scratching up the soft part of my arm.
Those vintage modified jazz basses sold like hotcakes as well. Like they're everywhere.
And they stopped making them. I don't understand that.
They replaced the vintage modified with the classic vibe,
But they jacked the price up, and it's like that.
And the quality.
That was the whole reason they sold.
Still so inconsistent. I've had 5 Indonesian Squires that I've reviewed. The most recent being the Mustang. It wasn't my Mustang. It was my beard dresser's Mustang. She lent it to me.
Your beard dress.
That's the thing.
Yes.
We'll revisit that later.
He's so Hollywood.
So I liked the neck on the Mustang. The body was really bad QC, at least on this particular one. So I think it's one of those bases where see it and hold it in your hands and check it out before you play it, because the Indonesian Squires are all over the place. The Chinese Squires, paranormal, everyone I've seen has been solid.
I played 2 of the paranormal bases, and they were good. They were both pretty good.
Yeah, I had no issues with any kind of fit and finish from mine. It was really good.
You have a paranormal?
Yeah,
they're cool.
Yeah, I had one to review. I think they're so cool looking. I had the white one.
I like the blonde, but there's something about that color scheme for me. That's like my favorite color scheme.
Yeah, because I already had the butterscotch Stingray. I was like, well, if I keep this base around, I don't want 2 butterscotch.
I got you. The white looks good too. It matches my old car, so I like it. So how much is the Squire short scale?
All $400. The whole vintage modified 4-string line. I mean, classic vibe. All of them $400.
Okay, so for an extra, how much? I gotta see how much they cost, because it's either
Sires. You can get the Sire U5.
I'm thinking of the Sire, and I'm thinking of the Schecter. I don't know.
The Banshee?
Yeah, I can't remember if it's 600 or 700.
It's $699. I want to say.
Okay, so it's 700. So that's if it was 600, I would say 200 extra bucks. I'm pretty sure that Schecter is going to be awesome. I know I want one, but
the Sire on Toman, they have a B stock for $399, and the regular one is $469 versus the $550.
I bet the Sire is going to be a much better choice. I would bet money that the sire in that scenario is going to be the clear choice.
Yeah.
And then you have the
It's
Sterling
funny.
too.
You know, another underrated short scale that's pretty cheap, and everyone I've played, I pick them up. I'm probably going to end up buying one someday. Is the Gretsch? They make a short scale bass.
Oh, the Jet.
Yeah, and that thing is awesome, man. It sounds good, and it's well made. It comes in this really cool green color that I like a British racing green.
Yeah, like that forest. Kind of
He was
shit.
like, British racing green,
You would just call it racing green, but
Aston Martin racing green.
My favorite Jaguar color.
oh man, every car, I'm not a Euro. When it comes to cars, I'm not a Euro car guy at all. But that green, like the old Austin Healey's and that green color, oh, it's the best. It's the best.
I nearly had an Austin for my first car.
That's awesome. Those things are cool, man. There was one. There's several car dealers around my house that they sell a lot of old cars.
Yeah, I nearly had an Austin A30, which had indicators that popped out on a bulb, spinning on a stick.
Yeah, I love every old car, but yeah, they had an Austin Healey at this car dealership that was like two-tone, like an off-white and a red, and it was pretty.
So cool.
I don't know what that question meant.
I don't either.
I'm bullying. I'm trying to figure it out.
Pressure's on.
Hey,
Dan Electro short scales, the new ones are great. Some Lex just mentioned Dan Electro short scales.
Yeah.
The
I
new
always
ones,
got a Dan Electro.
just don't get the
guitar.
one with that crappy bridge. Anderson Pack. I love Anderson Pack.
Yeah. Man.
okay, so I know what he's talking about now. So y'all ever heard the song "Come Down"?
Oh, that dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah, so I played that song a lot on my channel because I love the groove.
It is. It's a good bass line.
And because I can't stop my hand from like moving, I end up doing other stuff there, and I fall back in on the beat. So I think the actual bass line is like, give it the onions.
I was harmonizing.
Yeah. That's the actual bass line, but whenever I'm doing it, so it's just going doing the octave of it.
Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah, and then I do a lot of ghost notes and clicks and stuff.
I did too.
I don't realize it's happening until I do playback, and I'm like, "Yo, it's like I'm adding a snare in where I want it to be."
I do that too. Like slapping the like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too. I slap the strings.
I don't even realize it's happening until
it's a timekeeping tool. You know, as long as you're not, if you're doing it out of time, that's bad. But it's
for the most part, unless you Victor Wooten.
I don't do that stuff.
Yeah, even with a pick, I find myself being really like percussive with my playing, like doing those ghost notes and like filling in those gaps, like whenever I'm playing.
I don't know how did you play guitar before you started playing bass, or you just picked up a bass?
Only for like a year when I was like 13.
Okay,
So
I don't want to reference Davey 504, but like I can't use a pick. It is just not in me. It's just not in me.
That's part of the reason. Honestly, God, that's part of the reason I set my strings so low. Is I played in this when I was in Oklahoma. I played in this cover band where it was a lot of like 90s rock, and a lot of those dudes use picks. So I would set my strings really low and play like right here, and just just to get that like that clank or whatever, like you would
Yeah,
with a toe. It's
that,
not
like,
perfect,
it's
but
like
it's
piano
close.
like.
Yeah.
I do the Geddy Lee thing where
I know what you're talking about, the flamenco thing.
yeah, like the flamenco kind of thing.
I don't have the dexterity for that. Yeah, for a while I did this, like use my finger as a pick. I did that for a while, but you can only really do it with downstrokes to use your fingernail or whatever.
Yeah, unless you actually got a long fingernail. I did that. So like I grew out these two. Like I do a whole bunch of 2-finger twiddling or whatever. So I grew out these 2 fingernails. So I could actually do that like that. And it actually sounds like a pick. So I play by the bridge. And
it's just cool. It's cool seeing, like, honest to God, like that's something I like talking to other bass players about, is like how you overcome your own shortcomings. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got their own way of doing it. Like I set my strings low and just I don't even hit the strings any harder. I just kind of change the trajectory of it to give it kind of like that pick sound. And like for the Wooten stuff, I can't do like the going down the double thumb. But I use my left hand in conjunction with my right hand, and that's how I do it.
And I can't do that.
Yeah, so like that's how I do. Like that's my workaround, so that I can still get that sound, but I don't have to. I just can't do that clean. It just comes out sounding sloppy.
Like I was never taught how to play, so my slap technique is totally different to like most people will play, kind of like this. I have my hand down here almost when I'm slapping. So when I see people doing like that double thumb type thing, I'm like, God, I couldn't even do that the way that I play. But I've just learned that way, and I feel like I can't unlearn it.
That's the human element, right? Like that's the art. Like that's the art. Like you can sit there all day and well, you should be using this position here and this position here. I'd rather not. If I had students, which I don't, I believe there's such thing as like over teaching. Like at some point, this music is art, and like those little inconsistencies and stuff, like. I have the same approach with recording and stuff. You listen to I'm a Motown guy. If you listen to those old Motown recordings, you can hear little flubs and little flams here and there. I love that. Like I love that human element of it. I don't if I had a criticism of like some of the modern music out there, not all of it, because there is a huge resurgence in soul music. That if I had a criticism, it was that it's too overproduced and too perfect. I want to hear the people like. That's my little sermon on that, I guess. But
I totally agree. Like
I love hearing about how people come up with different techniques and stuff. That's the kind of thing I like hearing about. It's really cool. Like Bully, I told you already, but like it's the same thing with that Rocker Prestia bass. If you were to write down on a piece of paper all the stuff you were going to do, I'd be like, that ain't for me. But then I see it and I'm like, because I'm putting it together in my head wrong when I'm reading, and then I see it like those little star inlays for the Bootsy Collins thing and it's awesome. Like it's you and that's what's so cool about it.
Yeah. And I'm fairly simplistic myself, but I like this as an
he says.
Yeah, but I like it how it looks though. Like, so this is bass porn. I'm sorry. Then you got this going on the neck. Ooh. Come on now. Yeah. Yeah.
You got my favorite bridge design, hip shot A style.
Hip shot, and then you got the lightweight tuners.
Yeah.
So
what's the neck wood? What is that?
It's Jatoba and walnut.
Okay. Walnut neck. Huh. Jatoba is basically like Brazilian cherry, isn't it?
Kind of. It has the same density as like ebony.
Yeah, like the Jenka scale, it's like super, super hard. Jatoba. There's a guy that makes guitars in Oklahoma City. He was such a huge believer in Brazilian cherry, which is, I'm pretty sure Jatoba is just another word for it. but he was so, and I was like, I didn't, I don't care about woods that much, but he was super into it. And then I played one of his necks, and that's what kind of made me realize that I like. It's just the feeling of it. I don't think it really has a huge effect on tone, but like the feeling of like the harder, like my Lakeland has an ebony fingerboard, and I love the way it feels. It's just not spongy at all. Like it's just very.
It feels like a maple lacquered neck.
Yeah, like your hands bounce off of it, kind of. Like it almost feels like your hands bounce off of it. That's what I like about it. But my Yamaha's a rosewood, and I still like that. It's just a different feel.
Yeah. So what I whenever I wanted to create this, I created this exclusively for slap in my style. I love slap. So alder body, Toba walnut, back of the neck, ebony, fretboard, stainless steel frets.
That's good for slap.
Oh yeah.
MJC strings.
That's good for everything.
Yeah, so this is it for me. But yeah, man.
I like it. I that's what I like to see is like people designing stuff. Like, Lobster designs all kind of stuff like that. I really like the what was it called? The with the Dan Electro pickups, the jazz bass. What was that called?
Oh, Surf and Turf.
Surf and Turf. Yeah, I like that one a lot. I live for that shit, man. I love seeing.
I played it. I liked it too.
I love seeing people's creativity.
At the very end of our build or whatever, whenever I was going Frenchie versus Surf and Turf, I took a poll. I was like, which one y'all like the best? They like 70% Surf and Turf. I was like, I kind of like it too.
Yeah,
I kind of feel the same way. But I'm about to put a preamp. I'm about to put a Ardere preamp in Frenchie, so we're gonna see.
That's gonna be nice.
I don't think I've ever played an Ardere preamp. I was thinking about that the other day. Lakeland was super into it for a while, and Lakeland was into the J Retros. I don't think I've ever played a J Retro or an Ardere. I don't think I've ever come into contact with them.
I played a J Retro, didn't know it was a J Retro because the fact that it was a Marcus Miller Fender bass. My number one video.
Yeah, that one's. I felt that in my soul. I felt that video in my soul because that's every guitar shop I've ever been to. That's happened.
Yeah, so my number one view video was just that. That I didn't know what the original Marcus Miller preamp looked like.
Yeah.
And I went and looked it up, because I got to play a freaking Marcus Miller, and it sounded like everything I thought it would.
Yeah.
Go and look up the freaking body look, and then I'll go back and watch my video.
Doesn't look the same.
That's not. Then what the hell is this? Start doing research. Yo, that's a J Retro preamp.
I think they used to make one specifically for that bass.
Hey, it's like that preamp right now is worth more than what they sell in the whole bass.
Hey, Max Proud's in this. Can we get him?
Oh, Max is here.
Who is this?
Max Proud.
Proud? Oh man.
My God. Yeah, like that's the thing. Bully and Max, you guys don't know how much you helped deployments.
Really?
Honest to God. I'm not blowing smoke. I told you that the first time I talked to you. Is like, because if you're not working, you're not doing anything. And it was either go to the gym or sit there and just freaking binge watch YouTube. And I mean, Max was the first one that I ever seriously got into. But then, I saw it was back when you just had like the white wall behind you and your amp, those videos.
Oh, the old like.
Yeah, man, I've been watching you for a while, dude.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I've been watching you for a while.
Wow. I'm sorry that you had to see my personality at its infancy.
Well, hell of a lot better than mine. But if I can quit stuttering, I think my videos might be a little bit better. but yeah, I used to sit there and binge watching. That's how I started watching the Detroit bass players. That's how I got into them.
That's
And
how the Sire bass as a whole, because I was
Yeah.
watching go at it mess with a V7, and also Max. Really,
yeah, I mean Max, it's cool. Like it really did help. You know, it really did help get through that stuff. It just and it helped me do my research for my own. What I was going to buy with all my deployment money, and
hey,
it's that's why when I got involved with the string company and we were talking about like marketing ideas, and I just kind of said, YouTube's going to be the future. I said that's who we need to focus on, or like that is that. And you were the first one. I was like, it was like you, Davey. I was like, we at least got to get them into their hands. And then Lobster came along, and I was like, I watched like the first. I don't even know how I came across Lobster's channel, but I watched like the first video, and I was like, that one's going to be the next big bass channel. And it appears that my assumption was correct.
yeah. Lobster has a certain corny charm to him. It makes
Well, that's what it is, and that's what it is. Like you're like straight up, point blank, very direct, and everything.
yo.
This is how it is. Like, and that was my big thing. Is like I didn't want there are other YouTube channels that me and Lobster have talked about at length that are.
What's
I'm not dropping names. I'm not dropping names, but they're not authentic. It's just whoever gives me free shit. I'm going to do a 20-minute infomercial for them. And I was like, and I talked to, that was the big thing that we talked about at MJC is like, we do not want to be corporate. We don't want to be like that. And I was like, if we suck, I want this guy to go on the screen and say we suck, and then we got to fix our product.
Okay, now I know you're passionate because this is your livelihood and this is also your passion. But I do need to say this: Max Proud is in the building.
Woo! And then we're
Hold on, you guys. I just happened to be buzzing around.
Hey, there he is. There he is.
How you doing? How you doing, Chris? Good to meet
Oh
you.
my God. Better now. I'm doing better now. You're here.
Max, listen, man, you have to. I hope you understand like what you've done in the bass community for all the years you've been doing this.
Man, you're giving me too much praise, man. Come on.
Well, we can't give you
I
money.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So so it's I feel like Johnny, you know who Max Proud is?
I'm so far away from like in terms of genre, totally different to a lot of you guys. And yeah, I know who you are.
He's all the way in the UK, man. So
Oh, how you doing, John? It's good to meet your acquaintance. How you doing?
Yeah, you too. Yeah, really good. Thanks.
yeah, this whole situation is pretty crazy. I gave Max his flowers on one of the last time he dropped in and graced us with his presence. Him and Rumbling Man is kind of one of the reasons I even thought I could possibly do this. So appreciate it again. Thank you. So
No problem, man.
I do want to know this because you are the connoisseur or the collector dispensary of basses. What's your latest acquisition?
Oh, those I don't even know. the last thing I got. No, I haven't really got anything.
Don't lie.
No, I haven't. Yeah, the pandemic is really.
I haven't either. Just ask my wife.
Yeah, cut out a lot of stuff, a lot of my actions. So
Okay.
But listen, has anybody tried out the new Marcus Miller U5 short scale or anything like that?
We were just talking about
earlier.
Oh, really? Who has one?
I'm going to be snagging one. They have a B stock on Tomon for $399.
Okay. But you played one. Who sampled it? Who?
I want to hear play one.
We were just talking about.
I've never played any.
Nobody's played it at all.
Nothing on him right now.
Oh.
Very, very little few videos on him, if any.
So
Well, I heard the pickups are pretty bright on them, and it's to be non-preamp.
So let me ask you this: Max, me and you, we're larger people, right? Why
Okay.
do you need a short scale? Like-
No, but
I'm talking in terms of you holding a bass. You're not in here like this with a little bitty body.
I mean, you can get a short scale that still has a normal size body.
I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I
just
feel like
a lot of times they're the same length as a long scale. It's just a matter of where the bridge is in relation to the nut.
It's not
Well,
like
you
a
know-
Squire Mini P bass.
The middies.
well, I did get that sort of short scale Ibanez, SRMD, I think it's called, the 5-string. You know the one I'm talking about?
The Mesno.
It's a 32 scale.
Yeah, the
Mezzo.
mezzo.
Yeah, it's a 32 scale. It's just 2 inches shorter than the average scale. And being that it's I mean, I fly on the frets. I mean, it's that's probably the only advantage. It is really easy to play.
It's a different sound too. They're naturally more. They have more of a bloom, I guess is the term.
Sure.
I
What does
love
that mean?
music adjectives.
What is? I need you to explain that. I'm from
Kind of like, okay, so you have like a punchy, so like your signature model, very, very punchy, very, very tight response.
Yeah.
So like a short scale, by and large, and there's always exceptions to the rule. I mean, there's short scales that have plenty that are like that too. But by conventional wisdom, a short scale, it's more of a kind of like a spongier sound. You know what I mean? Like it's not so like for you might not like it, honestly, because if you're doing a lot of ghost notes and stuff, yeah, a lot of that stuff kind of gets lost.
Kind of less defined almost.
Yeah, less defined, but it's good. It's also good for overdrive. It's really good for overdrive because it's
That's why
itself to that.
Wretches is so good for that kind of thing.
Okay.
But the guy from
So-
Royal Bloods.
That's why a lot of guys you see playing short scales, they'll use a pick, and I think again, I have no evidence to support the claim, but I think that's maybe why, because to give it some more clarity and more punch,
Mhm.
Or it could just be that they're a guitar player and they like the shorter neck, whatever. But
Speaking
how I
of,
often told.
Speaking of short scales, Beard of Doom picked up one of the Jackson Minions. Those are $180.
I know
They're,
I have one.
28.6 inch scale.
Yeah, I have one.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do? What
Yeah.
I reviewed one.
It's not at my house, but I have one. Yeah.
What do you guys
It's
think
silver.
of yours? Because he's modding his. He's putting Geezer Butler pickups in it. He sanded down the neck.
Yeah,
He's
if you
putting a
mod
new
it,
bridge.
from the factory, they suck. But if you mod it, it's going to be good. You can make it. It's
So funny.
No,
What's funny, Bully?
You said from the factory, ass. However,
that's why it's not at my house. I was like, here, you can use this one. I wasn't a fan, but you could mod. Yeah, if you change the pickups and do some stuff to it, yeah, you can make it cool. I was actually going to pull the frets out of mine. That was kind of my idea. But I'm not in a hurry. He can have it for as long as he wants it.
Well, history says the original idea for the short scale altogether was for backup guitarists to play it without much, difficulty. That's what it was supposed to be for. That's what Fender developed theirs for. Those broadcasters, little.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was for kids. That was always my theory.
Yeah.
They did it for like little kids.
Tina Weymouth, bass player for
Tina,
yeah, she used one for a long time.
Like a Court or something, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so let me ask y'all this: how do y'all feel about the Calabass?
I didn't have a Kayla, but I had a Gold Tone, their version of it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a different animal. I struggled with it because I have big hands. But I'm sure if I would have dedicated myself to it, I could have, gigged it and everything.
I had one. It had the rubber strings, and it wasn't for
I
me.
like it.
Okay, all right. So we've taken yet another turn. Hold your horses.
Whoa! What's up, dude?
I'm behind.
And here we go.
There we go. There we go. My new drinking buddy.
So let me chime in about that Minion. That thing was
Maybe he's not my new drinking buddy.
total turd, man.
Okay, we're still on. Beers in Washington.
It's good to meet you, Beard.
Yeah, you as well, Max. I know who you are, man, but I'm a total metalhead.
That's okay. That's okay. That's fine.
But yeah, man, that Minion, it put some cuts in my fingers from the fret sprout. But other than that, I was showing Lobster when I was tearing the thing down, man. It's actually really well built. I got it for $150 as a demo from some dude on Reverb, and I pulled the thing apart. The freaking electronics compartment, it was wire managed with zip ties. It was all nice, and it was painted with what's that shit called? The black paint. Yeah,
the copper infused whatever.
Yeah, it was painted with that. Like the whole thing was built really well. The frets were just garbage, but yeah, I've sunk probably more than the base cost into modding it significantly more now. I put the geezer butlers. I got a hip shot Type A bridge coming tomorrow. Shit, I ordered a set of DDT strings. Those were what, $25-$30, and I'm gonna try to set the thing up BEAD on the 28-inch scale.
Those are the right strings, though.
Why? Because a wise lobster once said to me, he said, "What's money but paper with dead men on it?" So why the hell not?
I say because F it, that's why.
Oh, hey, hang on. I'm going to stand up here. I'm not wearing any pants. So
No, God, no. I didn't know how that was going to go.
Just don't wave to us while you're standing up.
There it is. There's the geezers. I put the Wilkinsons in there.
No.
Oh, mine's like the silver color.
Yeah, no, I got the purple.
They didn't have the purple. I wanted to go like stupid with it. I wanted to get the gaudiest looking thing, but they only had the silver.
His FGN that he got. He got the purple 5-string J. Jazz.
Jesus Christ!
Oh man!
Monetized.
So you were talking about BC Rich earlier that you guys wanted to play him, right? So I've been working on this horrendous BC Rich Warlock. And it is absolutely let's see how many angles we can put on this thing. Only Lobster's seen what I've done to the body as of today. But this is the fretboard as of now. I pulled all the frets out of there. And
that looks really good.
The fretboard was so old and so dry that when I pulled out the frets, the old rosewood, it just cracked and got really, really bad. So I filled that in with CA or super glue, and then I sanded the whole thing down to a 12-inch radius, and now it's been sealed with just a real light tongue oil.
Oh, that's really cool. That was my original plan with the Jackson, was I was going to make it a fretless. I see something else we bond over there, Beard of Doom. Your Pitbull guy.
What? Oh yeah, that's my buddy back there somewhere.
Rocco. Mine's old. He may not. He doesn't always come when I call him.
Guys, I'm it's like nearly 2:30 where I am, so I'm gonna have to love you and leave you, I think.
Yeah, I was about to go ahead and end this at 3 hours anyway.
Yeah, that's crap.
You gotta work.
You're ending it because I scratched my ass on camera, aren't you?
No,
we can't get demonetized again.
That's not even the worst thing that's happened here. Have you met Lobster?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Lobster. Thank you, Beard of Doom, for dropping by. Max, special thank you.
I wish I gave it sooner.
Max,
you're welcome, Bull. You didn't thank me, but you're welcome.
I was getting there. I'm going
All
Jesus,
right.
Chris, special thanks to you and the MJC family.
It's more than a pleasure to have.
Can I ask one question before you sign off?
Go ahead.
One question. Doom, do you prefer Jackson?
No, I don't. My very first bass was a 28-inch scale Memphis back
Okay.
in like 1990,
I had
and
one
then
of those.
from there I had a BC Rich Virgin, and then I quit for 20 plus years, and I just started playing again pretty much the beginning of this year, around the beginning when lockdown started and all that good stuff.
What is your preferred rock bass? I mean,
Right now, I'd have to go with my Ibanez EHB,
Well,
but the FGN is amazing. I could plug that FGN in. I mean, it's just volume, tone, but I put that in through my Tech 21 DP3X, and it just destroys.
Max, you have that Dave. What is it, David Ellis, the new Jackson? David Ellis.
well, where to go? Where to go?
I was about to say,
It was EM or something. What was it called? Yeah, I can't.
What?
Yeah, you were cutting out.
Can you hear me at all?
You're cutting in and out.
Okay, well, yes.
I've been really curious about that bass.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's
pretty
it's pretty punchy for a rock bass. Pretty punchy.
That and the what is it called? The Spectra, that Jackson bass, the soap bar. I'm curious about both of them.
Yeah, they make them Jacksons really punchy and really, really vibrant.
That's cool. That's
But it's one of their models they don't sample in the store. You never see them in stores. So I had to take a chance and get one. You know?
That's what's so hard with companies like Jackson, Schecter, and that is like they have so many models that I'm so curious about, but I'm not going to just, sometimes I will buy to try, but like, I don't know. I just, for some reason, I have like this natural apprehension to do it with those brands.
And the thing about it, I really do like Schecter, but Schecter changes models like the Japanese. They change all the time.
Yeah.
They had some really good models, and then they'll flip and they'll go to something else. And they're not steady.
Right now, they have like 5 that I really want to try. I might end up buying a Banshee. I'm really close. But
I can send you the Apocalypse, Chris.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one I'm curious about. The new precision bass that they're doing. There's like a regular one.
Yeah, and the P4
exotic with the EMG pickup and the active preamp, like that, all that stuff. It's like, man, I really want to try it, but there's nowhere to try it. And I thought I had a contact with Schecter, but they're not answering. So it could be a COVID thing. I don't know. It could be that they saw my channel and they were like, no.
One more thing, guys. It's going to be 2021 in a minute. Have any of you, Bully Lobster, Chris, has any of you been invited to the NAMM show?
Freaking Chris.
Chris?
So they haven't canceled it yet.
Okay.
The January one is not happening. But
it's not happening.
No, that got canceled a while ago.
Okay.
But the Nashville one has not been canceled yet, and that's because I have what I think is a solid idea for us to do at NAMM, and so I'm really hoping it happens so that we can do it.
I'm in there. That is driving distance. Oh, snap.
Well, it won't work out for Bully, but Lobster, I'm on the way.
I think I'll let civilians
down there.
I think I'll let civilians in.
What's that?
I think I'll let civilians in. You think?
You want to go?
I'm gonna try. I've actually been to the Summer NAMM one back in 2012, but that was
Max, you're not listening to what he said. Do you want to go?
Yeah.
I can't give an answer yet. I want to go. Yeah.
Well, you have me on Facebook. Let me know when you're for sure if you want to go or not.
I appreciate it, Chris. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll road trip it. But it's my theory is that because is it 3 or 2 NAMMs in a row have been canceled? I think that the summer NAMM is going to be huge if it happens, and
Surgeons.
that's why, like with
Is there
MJC,
about-
I want to capitalize with MJC and really make it a cool thing, because I have some ideas that if we could pull it off, you know, one of those ideas is no longer a factor, unfortunately, but it's if we can pull it off, I think we could really, MJC could have a really strong presence.
You need to tell dude at MJC that he never sent me my strings for all the beard stuff I sent him.
Ooh.
So I'm the dude at MJC. What happened?
He doesn't even have a beard.
No.
He sent in big clippings.
Seriously, what happened? There he is. There's my pit bull.
No, I was talking to some dude at MJC, and we got to talking, and we were talking about my beard stuff, and he was telling me about strings, and I said, "Hey, man, I'll send you some beard stuff." And he said, "Yeah, I'll send you some strings." So I sent him a bunch of beard stuff, and then, never got any strings.
Well, you got the right contact. Y'all together on Facebook.
What do you want? Give me gauges and alloy. What do you want?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look into that, man.
So
Usually
are
just
y'all
stay.
friends on Facebook? Y'all friends on Facebook?
I just dropped him a request earlier.
Cool.
Okay.
So
I'll
take that.
Are you Tool or something?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. All right. I got you. Let me know what you want. I'll get it. You can ask these guys. My follow through is pretty good.
Max is back, and he's actually in one piece now. He doesn't look like the Matrix has him.
Thanks.
All right. Well, fellas, thank y'all so much, Chris. Here's your shout out. Thank you.
Here's the bully. What's the bully?
Stop it. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. This has been a phenomenal time, man. I've had a lot of fun doing this.
Absolutely.
There's somebody that just dropped in, and it's a kid with buck teeth. I'm not gonna do it. Till next time, this is Alan Brown, aka Bully the Kid. Y'all be easy.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Later, guys.
Stay cool, man.